Good evening and welcome to Las Vegas. It's a nice and rather cool night here in the Nevada desert as we join you tonight on ESN for coverage of the AWSCO Windows Cup Series here for our third race in the Cup Series calendar. This is the fourth race. The FanDuel Sportsbook 400, 267 laps at the 1.5 mile intermediate speedway. I'm joined today with Madison for the pre-race show. How are you doing, Madison?
I'm great. Back out here in the desert, which is a place I know pretty well, and I've been to Vegas before, and it's great to be back, seeing this wonderful speedway. Got the iconic yellow walls and the mile and a half. Fans are really excited, and yeah. What would you like to discuss in this pre-race show before we get started?
I think we could probably start off with a little recap of the Cup Series so far this season, especially last week. Last week we tackled our first road course of the season at Bathurst, part of our first international tour. That is, and yeah, that was a pretty long race. I think that was a very much a strategy affair. Lots of tire strategy, lots of attrition as well. There was a lot of mechanical gremlins going around, and I think this is going to be a. It's been a theme for both series, really. Mechanical gremlins on, in both Cup and Continental. For anybody that watched the Continental race in at Vegas yesterday, that was definitely a a reoccurring theme for a good chunk of the race. I think.
Yeah, I certainly think that's possible, and being at as high of an elevation as Las Vegas is, that could continue to be a problem. Because if we look at the Las Vegas elevation right now, being in the Mojave Desert, it is pretty high. It's about 2,000 feet, and that thin air isn't very good for the engine, though certainly the low temperatures can be. But yeah, certainly all kinds of things for the teams to look forward to, especially with this race being longer.
Yeah, it's a little cooler out tonight. I think we're in the mid 50s. I think the Continental race not last week, yesterday was in the low 60s. So it's that's definitely going to play a little bit more into a more of a factor, I think. So maybe the engines will last a little bit longer. But I think as we look at the grid here for tonight's race, there's a lot of interesting cars up front. I mean, first and foremost, starting second is second in the championship, Arlen Handstrom, who won last week at Bathurst with that excellent undercut strategy on this 27 Anichi Garnstone. That was a very good, well executed race by that 19 team, and good qualifying position to start for the race here. Anybody catch your eye at in on the grid, Madison?
Looking at this, gonna have to find the starting lineup here, and I think the Gabriella starting on row four could have a real chance because at a place like Vegas, you can make passes and you can make pretty big moves throughout the race and that sort of thing. Being a mile and a half where there's a lot of grip, there's pretty much everywhere you can go, and if you can get in your groove and go places, even seventh is a great starting position. I think Vebels could be a pretty solid contender, or even Culberson. There's quite a few different things, and it's really hard to rule anybody out, except maybe if you're at the very, very back and just can't move forward.
Yeah, I think Cleat Air is going to be definitely going to play a factor in the race, but especially at the beginning of the race with the start, it's too wide. Everyone's going to be space is going to be at a premium. It's going to be interesting to see if we get the same kind of theme as we did in a continental race yesterday, where there were a lot of early incidents to start, but as the field thinned out a little bit, the strategy part of the race started to unfold. You got a pretty long green flag run there in that one, and we're gonna have more laps, of course, to kind of show that kind of strategy racing potentially for tonight. That is.
Yes, definitely. And as far as that goes, I think Las Vegas can certainly foster some very long green flag runs, and we've seen it in NASCAR's various stints, and we saw it in, again, the Oscar race pretty recently, as you mentioned. And it can also provide a good bit of chaos, especially off of turn four. You can get so tight so easily, or even loose depending on what your car is doing, and the way you converge off of turn four and into the trioval can be crucial for sure, and we've seen the same thing happen in turn two. Elsewhere, we don't seem to have quite as many incidents other than maybe just cars hit each other side by side while going straight and cause some kind of silly problem there. But yeah, definitely going to be interesting seeing the challenge that the weather and just the track in general gives the cars. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the drivers are going to have to look out a little bit, how to make sure they're aware of their bearings, especially on those restarts. There's gonna be a lot of cars moving around, trying to find the optimal lane at the beginning of a run there, and that definitely highlights the potential for incidents to happen as we saw in the Continental race earlier. Another driver that I want to point out is the 82 of Faisal Yuria, starting way back in 37th place, or yeah, that's 37th right there. Wait, no, that's 34th actually. 33rd actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
inside of row
33rd, and that team
17.
has
Sorry,
struggled,
I kind
haven't
of
they?
lost my bearings on the on the grid over there. But yeah, that's your championship leader who's had a pretty consistent start to the season. Two good runs at Daytona and Calder Park. A little bit more of a subdued run, but still a top 20 at Bathurst. Starting way out back, that might be that this race might be a little bit of a challenge for her here, as that's a car I think you want to be looking out for in terms of whether or not they can make their way up through the field in the early stages, I think.
I think if there's any track where a strong car that maybe starts further back can make an impression later in the race, this is definitely one of those tracks for sure, because we have seen it before. We've seen great drives from the back where you go to the front, maybe not last the first challenge, but certainly if you do start a little bit further back, you can get a respectable position at the end of the day. Just a question of getting out there and doing it, and we're never going to know until the drivers put their helmets on, start those engines, and get rolling and pick up speed pretty much. So who knows what the 82 can do. And I also think that maybe the 55 and 71, we noticed that team in general, there's been some moments between those two teams. And yeah, it'll be fun watching these contenders all over the place. What do you think about anything else?
Yeah, I mean, just to point out the top five finishers of yesterday's Continental race, two of them started outside the top 20. That being the 81 of Hageman, who started 28th, and the 0 of Yoko, who started 23rd. So it's definitely possible to see cars moving up through the field as the runs go on. And especially if you do get a bit of a messy start to the race where you have Rex, wreck avoidance is going to be a key role in terms of getting positions, I think.
Yeah, and at Vegas, it can be a little bit harder just because the transition from banking to apron is a lot sharper at a place like Vegas than it is at, say, other intermediates of its kind. We've seen that play out before, and certainly at Vegas, you don't really have the apron as an option if wrecks do happen in the corners, so a lot less room there, and even the runoff that you have on the aprons on the front and backstretch can be a little bit narrower than you'd like. So, yeah, definitely a lot of chaos can funnel together. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think I'll just kind of go off on on the story of some teams and drivers that have unfolded so far this season. I think I'd like to talk about the 3 and 13, the MBYW cars who have been up and down the field at the start of the season. Very good qualifying for them at Daytona, of course, but they haven't really had the race pace and results to show for it. But I think we started seeing flashes of that at Bathurst. It is definitely a different kind of beast there, and they're starting to move up they're starting to move up the point standings a little bit, but they're still stuck outside the top 30. And this is just gonna. I think this is gonna be a theme for a lot of teams here. This is kind of the first race of the kind of one of the first key moments of the season. I think this being a intermediate track, of course, teams are gonna be pretty eager to know how good their cars are at this kind of track, given that this is going to be the kind of racetrack that we're going to see for most of the schedule. I think, the first couple of races they were a little bit of an oddity. You had a super speedway, a road course, and Calder Park is kind of like a regular speedway, but it is a little smaller and a little bit narrower. So that's maybe you can take some lessons out of that, but I think this is going to be the first race where a lot of teams are going to be taking a lot of notes basically on team performance.
Yes, I certainly agree with that. And as far as a place like Vegas, this is about as not vanilla in terms of an insult, like, oh, this track is not very interesting, it sucks, that sort of thing, but there's plenty of tracks that kind of race just a little bit like Vegas, and yeah, just as you said it pretty much perfectly. This is just about as ordinary of a track as it gets, and the teams can really build their expectations based on this. And yeah, any further thoughts before we have the drivers fire their engines and get the show started?
No, I don't think I have anything else to say. So with that, we'll take you to the booth right now. It'll be Echo and Brennan up in the booth commentating for the race, and we'll take you over to them. Head it over, Echo.
Yeah, thank you, and welcome to Las Vegas here for this one. Let me get the stream up real quick. Welcome to Vegas here at this mile-and-a-half track. I'm joined by Brennan, and, you know, we start this West Coast swing after a couple races in Australia. How jet-lagged do you think these drivers are? How bad do you think that's going to be for these drivers? And more importantly here, how do you think this kind of race is going to set the tone for a good chunk of the season?
Well, as far as the jet lag, they've had about a week to prepare for that, or get over that. So hopefully, most of them have, gotten back to the usual. And this version of Las Vegas is very interesting. It kind of races pack-like at the start, but I don't remember if I've seen a race as long as this one on this racetrack. So as the race goes on, I'm honestly not exactly sure what to expect. I mean, I probably for them to spread out a little bit more, but the treacherous part of the racetrack off of turn number 4, you're going to be watching for a lot of wrecks, especially towards the start of the race when they're all grouped together. We saw that in the Continental race, and I expect to see it again here. But hopefully, with these guys, a lot of these guys having more experience than the Continental guys, they'll have a better job of keeping it together.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this race being so long, and we saw in the Continental race yesterday, I mean, they had those early jitters, but after the first 15 or so laps, we went green for almost 130 laps before we had another incident. But you're going to be watching that trouble spot, which is the exit of turn 4. That's where we saw pretty much every incident in the Continental race. And we're going to be watching a lot of these cars just try and negotiate this track. And with there being a lot of grip tonight, as it's a little cooler out than it was last night, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. All right, here's your starting grid for the FanDuel Sportsbook 400. Row 1, Sydney Arariston, the driver from the desert, starts on the pole in the desert. The Arizona driver up front for Atlantic Racing, alongside the 19 of Arlen Handstrom, last week's winner at Bathurst. Row 2, it's Janet Parkings, alongside Angeli Rugatino, who won at Calder Park. Row 3, the 17 of Dira Reister and the 93 of Irini Atosima. Row 4, the 20 de Gabi Gabriella and the 42 of Mika Gennaro. Row 5 is the 21 of Amani Wandayo and the 39 of Lily Talberson. Row 6, the 52 of Rachel Cole and the 99 of Marisha Velbost. Row 7, the 91 Alicia Byrne and the 34 of Mika Harina. Row 8, the 16 Sky and Jetta and the 27 of Nietzsche Garnston. Row 9, it's the 64 Jocelyn Nihale and the 26 of Sophie Chantose. Row 10, it's the 8 of Lowry Schliesenbach and the 2 of Isa Ijavida. Row 11, the 98 Eva Jarsaraj and the 10 of Audie Stoneman. Row 12, the 22 Andrea Davison and the 31 of Taylor Happerman. Row 13, the 55 of Bria Delade and the 71 Abby Little. Row 14, the 92 of Michele Yatica and the 18 of Periala Contes. Row 15, Daytona 500 winner Halis Jukovic is alongside the 38 of Youngwei Koo. Row 16, the 60 of Amory Wesco and the 13 of Yania Waterton. Row 17 is the 82 of Pace Linieria and the 46 of Yenfi Yanaga. Row 18, the 15 Tabrizia Toleron and the 6 of Jami McJasmina. Row 19, the 23 of Yappy Malikson and the 1 of Alicia Vancy. And starting at the back in row 20 is the 3 of Mimi Marino and the 9 of Carly Byrne. All right, so 267 laps. This one's gonna take a while, but this track is kind of lends itself to those long runs. Who do you expect to be the one that's out front tonight, and who do you think is gonna win this one?
I think, we got the yellow Pennzoil walls on this track. I'm gonna pick the Pennzoil car. I think Arinia Tosima is gonna come away with the victory here today.
All right, well, we're just about to get set. We're gonna get the command here to start the engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
And they fired them up. So Cindy Rariston is on the pole. And the Rariston's, she's had a solid season so far, but the point she got from winning the pole here is going to be big for her. Considering she came in tied for 18th in points with the 42. So the 32 and 19 up front. It's a cloudy night here. It's going to be a very, very difficult first few laps for these cars, but I think once we settle in, it'll string along very well. All right, pace car's off. And the green flag is out at Las Vegas. And for the first time, we're going intermediate racing in AWSCO. And on that start, you're going to see the inside lane be fast, but on the start, you're going to see the inside lane kind of develop quick first, but after that, it's the outside lane that's the strong lane here.
Especially out of 1 and 2, that's a place that you want to be in. There's a bit more grip on the inside through 3 and 4, as you see Handstrom trying to make the outside work. She's going to cross underneath the 32 of Cindy Rariston and try and utilize that inside through turns 3 and 4. You get a bit of a better run off the corner there, but you can still keep it up on the outside there, and that is what Rariston's doing right now. She'll beat Handstrom back to the line to complete lap number 2, but they're still 2 wide throughout the field, and 3 wide in some places off of turn number 4. It was I was getting a bit nervous about that off of the initial lap, but we're good so far.
We're good so far. The 93 of Tosima made some pretty big moves at the start. She was up on the top side 3 wide trying to she got some pretty big runs up there. But there's 3 Evans Ross Racing cars in a line now on the bottom with Talberson, Tosima, and Vevelst in that order. But right now it's the 32 out front. Rariston showing why she won the pole. But here comes the 96 of Angeli Rugatino.
Rugatino getting to the inside of Rariston off of the corner. This is probably your best chance if you want to get past the leader here in terms of where on the track to make the pass. But it doesn't look like she's going to be able to clear before they get to turn number 1. There you see the 20 car up there. That is Abriella, and she's going to get blocked by the 96, and now Handstrom and the 72 car of Janet Parkings are going to get underneath her. They're going to be 3 wide coming off of turn number 4.
That's both of the Team Flurbant cars up here, and the 20 and the 72. That team's had a pretty solid start to the season. Abriella hasn't run where she's wanted to, but hasn't finished where she's wanted to, but she's run fast, and Janet Parkings in the top 15 in points. As the 19's going to get a run here, trying to get the push from the 96 into 3 and 4, but she really backed off there.
Stuck in the middle there, Sky and Jetta. Now it files back down to 2 wide. Marisha Bebels slipped back there with her. The 27 of Nishi Garnstone is also around there. And Handstrom's going to try and get the lead through turns 1 and 2. Watch out for that run up top again from the 32 car. But if Handstrom can stay underneath the 32 going into 3 and 4, she might be in a good spot. Behind them, the 72 and 20 both checked up in the corner. The 96 will get by them for 3rd. But it looks like Handstrom is going to take the lead.
The 19 got a great run through 3 and 4. And she managed to hold, I mean, if you can hold the inside for just a little bit, especially coming out of 2, you can really fight. As the 32 now, gonna try to pull back, I thought she was gonna try the crossover, but she backed off on it. But 3 and 4 is gonna be the best chance for where the inside lane's gonna work. The outside is way stronger in 1 and 2, but the way it kind of alternates here is very fun for racing. Gabriella, Gennaro, and Wandayo all 3 wide right here, as the 32 is now going to drop behind the 96 of Rugatino. Rugatino won at Calder Park, and actually, funny enough, Rugatino, if she didn't get that penalty after Calder Park, would be the points leader at the moment, but they received a 25-point penalty after they failed post-race inspection.
Imani Hondayo almost slid up into Janet Parkins. That was basically the exact same spot where we saw the big one happen in the Continental race with Kate Summers sliding up in front of the field. Thankfully, they were able to keep it together this time, and this 21 car is looking pretty fast so far. 34 car, that's Mika Harina in the Holiday Inn machine. She's been making up spots since the start, and she's getting some moves done there on the inside lane. And going for third, did not get underneath the 21, but I was going to point out... Oh, no, that's for fourth, my bad. I was going to point out Hondayo. Very fast start to the race for her.
Yeah, Wandayo started up in the top 10. I think she started 9th. And she's moved up to 4th pretty quickly. I mean, also another worthy shout on that front is Lily Talberson, who started back in 10th. She's moved her way up to the 6th position now.
She got 2 of those spots last lap,
We're going
and now she's looking for more.
3 wide into 1 and 2. 21 really bobbled on the top lane. I mean, if you can bobble on the top lane, and that'll hurt your momentum.
Oh, she is going way back.
She's dropping way off, but she'll slot back in here in a gap.
That's at least 4 spots, probably more that she's about to lose here. You just make that one mistake up there on the top side, and it just absolutely kills your momentum, and then you see like 3, 4, 5 cars go right by you, and there's nothing that you can really do about it.
Yeah, especially early in the race like this. I mean, the later you get where it's way more strung out, you know, at that point it's not going to be that bad, but early in the race like this, with everyone bunched up, you make a mistake like that and fall back, you lose quite a bit. So our last 2 race winners in Australia are running 1-2 at the moment, but it's very early. We're just 14. We're just on lap 14 now, and I mean, honestly, we've probably yet to see the fast cars in this one.
Talberson to the inside of Rairston, that's for 3rd, trying to make up another position. She's been on quite a run over these last few laps. Janet Parkins and Abriella both lurking behind them. 2 teammates running pretty good so far. And behind them, you see the 42 car of Mika Gennaro. That's my best attempt.
It's yeah, you're good. It's Gennaro.
Yeah. Mika Gennaro in the 42 car, currently being passed by Hondayo. She's been in the top 10 over this first run. And Tosma's going to try and send it 3 wide into 1 and 2. The 21 slid up the track a bit, but got enough momentum to clear the 93.
39 actually looks like she might be the fastest car right now, because she is ripping through the field at the moment.
Already going for 2nd on Rugatino, but Rugatino's going to get the run off, and Talberson won't get the chance to get underneath.
Yeah, not going to be able to make that momentum stick quite yet. Dero Reister running 10th, her team car, Ozark Motorsports, actually ended up winning the Continental race yesterday with Isabella Fitzmaurice. Reister, who's in the Ozark Cup program, running in 10th right now, so pretty solid run. And I mean, I think we talked about this at the end of the show yesterday, but you know, that experience that this team got from running the Continental race, for being in the Continental race, is the 31.
No, the 31.
Her teammates around.
Back up across the track. And we got some
all
more
around
spinning ahead.
Yanaga's in it. Same with Audie Stoneman. Youngwei Koo, Felicia Vancy has damage. Caution is out. I was just going to talk about Taylor Happelman, who's in the other Ozark car, but... Well, I guess there's only really one way we're going to be talking with her, and it's going to probably be in the garage.
Yeah, that's a tough break for the 31, and a lot of those guys that were at the back of the field, we got more. The 1 and the 15 with some extracurricular activity. That's interesting.
A little bit of frustration, maybe.
Yeah, all those guys, all those drivers were at the back of the field to start with, and then they just didn't really get that much of a chance to make their way up through the field. And
I'm surprised it took that long.
It's going to be an early end to a lot of those cars, and everybody's headed down for some pits.
I think the 31 might keep going here. They're trying to fix that car on pit road, and everyone else kept rolling.
That's not the place in the track. That's not the place in the track I expected the wreck to happen.
No, I didn't expect that either.
Gotta watch out getting in your pit box. It's a little bit tight here, but reasonable enough.
It's not too bad here. 19's gonna win the race out.
Yeah, 19 in the 96.
55.
Slower stop. Slow stop for Raristown.
I wonder if they're making some adjustments on that car. She's dropped behind, right behind her teammate, actually. So let me get a quick
Gabriella also lost a lot of spots in the pits in the 20 car, so she's going to have some ground to make up, along with Raristown.
Let me get a quick export here, just because I've known the game to blow up at this track before.
This is one of the beefier tracks on the schedule, so
yeah,
definitely wouldn't hurt.
38 and 31 out of the race, so Koo and Happabin have retired. Oh, the 15, so that's what happens under the caution. The 15 checks up for the 38, and the 1, I think, just did not realize that she was slowing up for the 38. And 31 of Happelman.
Ooh.
I think the 15, I don't think that was the 15's fault at all. I think that was the 10 coming back up the track into her.
Yeah, the 10's down on the apron there and just sideswipes the 15. And,
Ooh, wow, the 60 made a great save. Watch the 60 here. Drive through this. Gets contact. 15 backs into her and just drifts it through the corner. Great job by AWSCO.
she had cars wrecking her on both sides, and she managed to get through it.
Yeah. I'm curious if anybody took a little bit of a strategy dare here, but because the 55, now the 55 just had a fast stop. She's up to 4th.
Dark Horse Racing, once again, showing up at the front of the field.
Yeah. They've looked pretty fast lately. Obviously, with Rigatino winning the pole, or winning the race at Calder Park. But, they've generally run pretty fast, although Delat has not had a lot of luck on her side lately. But, I think it was at Bathurst last week where Delat blew a tire under caution, lost a lap, managed to get it back, and was able to finish in the top 15 after all of that, so... And Angel Rigatino last week at Bathurst was on a bit of a different strategy, but managed to convert it into a third-place finish after a late call for just 2 tires on their pit stop, and it worked.
Looks like we will be restarting this time on lap 23.
Yep, they've given us the one to go. 3 Fords make up the top 5, along with a Mercedes and a Chevrolet. Handstrom, Rugatino, Talberson, Delad, and Wandayo up front. It took us about 20 laps to get an actual incident, so I have faith that this race will go green for a while.
Definitely went better than the Continental race.
Yeah. We had
Green
2
flag.
cautions by this point. Green flag is out. 39 already making a move on the 96.
See the 17 down there also trying to make a move on the 72, but here comes Talberson on Rugatino. That should be a pass for second, and Rugatino's getting a shove from her teammate. Never mind, her teammate's going to try and pass her as well. But that was a great restart by Handstrom. She got out to a decent-sized gap there off that initial restart, while they continue to fight for second behind her.
Talberson's still all over Rugatino right now, but 96 was able to hang on to the high lane and get back out ahead of the 39, and now she's looking underneath the 19, maybe for the race lead. I mean, these Mason Parker cars that's the top 4 team, so. And a car coming down pit road. That's a 62 of Hollis
62.
Vukovic. So we'll follow up on that when we get more information. Battling for third now, it's Delad alongside Talberson and 55. Gonna be able to get by. So now it's a Ford top 3.
Looks like the 62 is already leaving the pits, so
That might have
whatever
been a stop and
issue-
go.
whatever issue they were having, they got it cleared up pretty fast. Here comes Rugatino underneath Arlen
96.
Handstrom for the lead.
Yeah, she's
But
going
Handstrom
for
once
it.
again. Handstrom once again getting that run off the corner. Oh, the 55 kind of slid a little bit off of 4.
I wonder if the
They're gonna
55 is going to try and give the 96 a little bit of a push down here into the end of the corner. When the 96 is running the inside, I think the 55 might try and give her a little bit of a push on the inside lane just to give her that little bit of advantage that you might get down there. But I don't know, because now the 39 is trying to get around Delad's outside.
Yeah, Delad did not have a very good entry into the corner. Slowed up quite a bit, so she didn't even really have the chance to get there. But Rugatino might not even need that push because she's back to the inside of Handstrom again.
But
once
got a
again-
great run.
Handstrom's in that preferred line, so it's going to take a little more than that to get by. Talberson trying to go for a crossover down the back straightaway and getting to the inside of Rugatino for second.
She was able to get there, but could not convert it. Rugatino had a good run through 3 and 4, and now here comes the 17 car. Whoa, the 55
Oh,
has
she's in the
turned the
wall.
17.
Oh, that's a hard crash. Look out, there's more.
Big stack up, big pile
Oh
up
my
in turn
goodness.
number 2.
Carly Burns in it. I saw
Caution's out.
McJasmina in it. Valicia
Wow.
Vancy's in it. That's at least a dozen cars piled up in turns 1 and 2.
And the 39
62 is in it.
39 who
was
I
just
thought
in the
had a
pits.
very fast car has
Yeah,
just been
Talberson.
cleaned out from this one.
Talberson had nothing to do with that, and she ended up getting wrecked from third. I saw the 26. Sophia
Chantose was in it.
Chantose.
Chantose was in that. 6 has damage. The 21 of Wandayo. Byrne, Barino, Vancy, Tolerone, Davison, Ajarsaraj, Reister.
That's a lot of fast cars torn up in that.
Yep. We got more pit stops.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, the tires wear out so quick here.
Tell you, someone who really benefited from that and gained a lot of spots, a couple of drivers, the 2 Southwest Racing cars there in the top 5. Gennaro and
And
Jetta.
Jetta. And who else has been spotted in the top 10 is the 99 Mauricio Vebels, who actually managed to not be involved in that. So everyone taking 4 tires here, it looks like. '19 wins the race out.
42 up to second.
42,
16 up to
16
third.
Up to second and third. Parkings, Cole. Rugatino dropped back to 6th. Davison. Oh, Davison, I think, is. Davison was getting damage repairs, so she actually got whacked. The 62 would have been the free pass car, but she was involved in the accident.
That's a lot of cars I saw on the retired list over there.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Jukovic, Vancy, Barino, Carly Byrne, McJasmina, Ajarsaraj, Chantose, Talberson, Wendayo are all out. I think we just lost another one.
The 17.
Yeah, 17's out. Well, once again, not where I expected them to wreck, but
Not a good day for Ozark Motorsports.
no. No, they've had 2 cars get hooked in turn 1. And the 91 of Alicia Byrne had some damage in that. Let's go back and see what happens.
55 drove it in too
55
low.
trying to take the low line. Maybe trying a little side draft here and
Gosh, that's a hard hit into the outside wall. Thank goodness for safer barriers.
ooh. Yeah.
21
no.
of the 39 had a big collision. The 39 was on top of the back of the 21 car, and then
9 car.
track
gets
is
in-
blocked.
9 car gets
BJ
into
hits the wall pretty
39.
hard.
A lot of big hits. Ooh, those 2 just barely missed that.
62 piled in right at the end.
Yeah. Not the most flattering performance from the Daytona 500 winner.
That was at least 2 of the Inverness Racing cars involved in that, the 26 and the 62.
62 is the Atlantic Racing.
Oh,
The 92 is the other Inverness car.
okay.
Okay, so
I don't think I saw the 92 in that, but I could be wrong.
92 is a 22nd, so probably not. So top 10, it's Handstrom, Gennaro, Angetta, Parkings, Cole, Rugatino, Tosima, Vebelst, Albriella, and Alacantes. 22 of Davison is going to get the wave around because she is in the middle of this group as a lap car, so the only car 1 lap down right now is the 15 of Fabrizio Tolaround.
Still got the 22 trying to catch up to the pack here.
Yeah, she'll be out of the way at least, regardless of what occurs.
Just when I think I figured this track out and I know exactly where the trouble spot is, it throws me for a loop.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, we had 2 wrecks in completely different spots than I expected to have them.
Yeah, they've all been in turns 1 and 2. Even the incident under caution was going into 1.
Yeah. Green flag is back out. Here we go from Vegas.
42 did not go on the restart. Her teammate's going to try and get by her here.
And Jetta needs a good run after she was running top. She blew up from the top 5 last week at Bathurst. So that 16 car, I think, really wants to show something as the 52 of
shoving
Cole.
it 3 wide.
What a move by Cole, and Gennaro backs out here.
I don't think we mentioned Rachel Cole yet until now, but she's made her presence known.
And here comes
Here
Angetta
comes
for the
Angetta.
race lead.
Hamstrom's been so good at utilizing that middle outside lane there in the 19 car, and once again, she's able to clear the 16 again. And if she can keep utilizing that, she might be a threat. The 72, Janet Parkins with a big move to the inside of the fellow Toyota. And the 52's got a good run through turn 4. Will she try and make it 3? It doesn't look like it.
Now, those cars may have an alliance manufacturer-wise, but Parkins is one of the more aggressive drivers on this circuit, so she knows how to get it done.
Jetta's doing a good job holding them off right now. The 93 of Arena Tosma has shown back up into the top 5. 3 wide behind. Cole is up on the way outside. Be careful. They've been behaving themselves off turn 4, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, shockingly, as the 16 dove to the inside.
Janet Parkins is right on the back bumper of the 19 of Arlen Handstrom now, so
Yeah,
maybe Parkins will have something for her.
Parkins got a great run of momentum through there. Here comes the 93 making the inside lane work. Tosima really...
16 bobbled.
Yeah, Tosima's
That'll
really
give
kind of pushing her way
Tosima-
through.
That's going to give Tosma the room she needs.
Yeah, but it's not going to give her the momentum she needs.
Janet Parkins laying off a bit, maybe trying to set something up down the back straightaway, but I think she let off a little too hard, and here comes Jetta to the inside. Good run for the 72.
72 got a good run, and she might take that to try and get by this 19 here.
I still don't think she's
Oh.
close enough to do it yet.
She dove it down.
And we're only on lap number 39, so she can... she's in no rush to try and make that move. 3 wide. Gabriella to the inside.
What an aggressive move by the 20.
Looks like she's going to take the 93 with her.
99 and 96 nearly made contact back there. Vebelst and Rigatino.
And you're talking about how Janet Parkins was one of the most aggressive drivers in the field. Well, this is the most aggressive driver in the field.
Absolutely. Vebelst does not take any prisoners.
She's going to try and force it 3 wide through 3 and 4 here. And Jetta's stuck up on the outside. She's been bleeding spots since the restart. And you got to be careful coming off the corner. Looks like, again, they're going to make it through, so... Maker Harina right in the middle of all this in the middle. That's
Comes
not a
Parkins.
spot that I'd want to be in.
Ooh, Parking's got a good roll through 1 and 2 here.
It's looking good for
Essence.
Parkins if she can stay alongside in 3 and 4. Rachel
Here comes
Cole's going to try and
Cole.
make it 3 wide. Oh, she got under Parkins, but Handstrom was able to get out of that situation.
They're going to catch
And
the couple lap cars here.
Oh my
That's the
goodness.
22 and the 15.
Oh, that's going to be a roadblock.
That could help some of these cars that are kind of trailing a little bit. 52's going
like
to
the
be able
first-
to get in line.
The first couple are going to get by without issue, but yeah, now we've got the 99's getting held up, the 18's getting held up. This might be a problem coming off the corner. And that's created kind of a split in the pack. Not a large split. I think they could definitely get back together, but it definitely had an effect on that battle.
Yep.
42 ended up on the worst end of that because she's still stuck behind the 22, and she was up in the top in the top 5. Now she's going to be lucky if she's in the top 20 after that's all done.
Yeah. So, check in on our NordVPN fastest lap right now actually belongs to Carly Byrne in the 9. Byrne
She's not even in the race
is not in the
anymore.
race anymore, yeah. Which, funny enough, that actually kind of tracks with how the Continental race went yesterday. Debbie Williams ran the fastest lap in that race and got the bonus point for that, but Williams didn't finish that race, as here comes the 52.
Rachel Cole trying to take the lead. Handstrip's just so good on that outside. Time and time again, she's been able to hit her marks up there. And it's been very hard for the rest of them to pass.
Abriella.
Oh, the 20. Abriella again trying to force it 3 wide, but no room down there. And Handstrom again is going to get away with the lead.
Gabriella, what a move
boy.
she made there. I mean,
Somebody's running a modified out there.
yeah, I think that's there's a couple cars, the 71 and the 91. I mean, it's been a terrible season for Abby Little in the 71 car. Currently sitting last in points, but I mean, she kind of did this same thing at Calder Park where she ran well off the pace. I think she flipped and then continued and actually ended up finishing the race. Granted, it was 14 laps down, but she did finish. Got G2.
Cole with a run off of 4. This might be her chance right here.
She'll have it at the line. I think she's going to clear. But here comes the 20.
Abrielle has been taking no prisoners here today. She's made some big dives down to the inside multiple times in this race. They're side by side for the lead. And that 96 car of Angeli Rugatino is back again. And this time she's brought the 8 of Lori Schleichen back with her. That's a name we haven't seen in the top 5 yet today, but there she is now, running in 5th. And there you go, another lead change. Gabrielle is now in the lead.
We needed 1 lead change, and we got 2. And Schliesenbach, yeah, kind of slowly, methodically worked her way up to the front here. About 50 laps in, and that 8 car looking pretty strong.
Up to 3rd, maybe 2nd here. 3 wide behind her. Handstrom's now stuck in the middle.
Vebels
And
pushed
93.
it 3 wide middle there.
Tosma lost a bunch of spots in that corner, and she's still feeling the effects of it down the front stretch.
Tosma had to back out from her own teammates' aggression there, because that was pretty much because Vebels put it 3 wide. Schliesenbach's up to 2nd now.
That 8 has been flying over these last few laps. Bebel's going to the inside of Rugatoni there.
Rigatino gonna let that position up. Vebels really making moves very early on. We haven't seen a lot of that 99 so far this season, but as we gotta move for the lead again. Here comes Schliesenbach.
Oh my goodness, that 8 is fast. She made the inside work easily on the 20.
Got a great pole. And the 8 car now out front.
And it is barely, just a few minutes ago, we hadn't even mentioned her all race, and now all of a sudden she's leading.
Yeah.
Janet Parking's there in the 72, who's battling for the lead not too long ago. Now back in 8th, trying to battle with Tosma for 7th. And we're seeing some new faces up towards the front now. The 19 was the dominant car in that first run, but now she's back. She's not even in the top 5 anymore. She's in 6th, so she got past one time, and I guess the car isn't quite as good in dirty air as it is out front, so maybe that could be an adjustment that crew needs to make later in the race.
That could be also these cars just adjusting on those pit stops and getting better.
That's definitely possible.
Cindy Rairston had a couple long stops on pit road, but she's kind of starting to move up through.
I think the 82.
We're hearing something might have gone on the 82.
She's not on the track anymore.
Yeah, sounds like the 82 has retired from the race. So we'll follow up on that when we have more information.
The 20 tried to make a move to the 8 going into turn 1, but again, just didn't quite have that momentum on the inside. Not as much grip down there. Schleisenbach's going to keep the lead. Now Rachel Cole and Marisha Vebelst are behind the 20.
Look at the 99.
But they end up fighting each other.
I mean, maybe all Vebels needed was to get back on the West Coast. Because she's really looks quite strong.
Single file throughout the whole top 10 right now, pretty much. Kind of biding their time now. Mika Harina's up to 7th now. We mentioned her a couple of times. Running, this is about as high as she's been in this race, so it's good to see her running up front. As Tosma's going to try and pass her for that position. And they're starting to die down here a little bit on the aggression, which you definitely like to see after seeing those two early crashes in 1 and 2. Just as I say that, here comes Rachel Cole, making a move on Abriella for 2nd.
I mean, shout out Rachel Cole as well, because that car I mean, Rachel Cole was kind of in a spot where she kind of just wasn't racing for a while. Like, she kind of disappeared for a bit, but she's come back and been quite solid in that 52 car.
I'm gonna run up on these two again.
And they're gonna catch these cars again. Again, this is there is no minimum speed rule here, so these cars will just have to find their way around.
This could be an opportunity for Abriella or one of these other cars to try and pass for the lead here, as the 15 and the 22 continue to hold up these guys. But Schleichenbach's going to get underneath, and everybody's trying to use the inside on these cars. That's the way you know they're slow. They're not even getting the runs off of the corner. So it should be easy pickings for these guys as long as none of them get stuck behind them in 3 and 4. And that might be happening to Tosima right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to end up as bad as it did for the 42 earlier.
Madison, what do you have down on pit road?
Yeah, so I'm down in the garage right now here in Las Vegas, and yeah, you can hear the crews. They're working on the cars right now, and they're just trying to figure out what happened on the 82, and it sounds like, funny enough, for the cold temperatures, they actually pretty much exploded and melted part of the piston casing on piston number 7 in the engine, and that's what went wrong. Catastrophic failure, and the 82 is out of the race, and they'll have to rebuild a whole new engine for next week, so very costly for that team. Back up to you.
That's tough for the points leader. I mean, she had 2 top 10s to start the season off, and pretty quiet showing in Bathurst. And now she's going to be out of the race early.
And this brings up an interesting point because, you know, that's her teammate leading the race right now. And with the 82 having such an early mech fill, is there a concern for Lori Schleichenbach's car potentially having a similar issue?
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, that 8 car was pretty fast in the early run, but, I mean, clearly the 8 is not... I don't know if the 8 is the fastest car right now. Because...
Yeah, she passed a lot of cars after the restart. And we're seeing a couple of cars like Harina and Vebels that are starting to make their way up into the top 5 over the long run. We also see these Atlantic racing cars like Raristown and the 64 car trying to peek into the top 10 here. The 64 of Nihale is already in the top 10.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I think Raristown had a couple bad stops and knocked her really far back in the field, but she started to climb her way back up through. These cars they're catching the 91 and the 71 now.
Abby Little and Alicia Byrne.
Those
Not quite as
cars.
slow. Not quite as slow as Tolerone and Davison were, but could still be an issue for the leader. And them being faster does not necessarily mean they're going to be less of a roadblock, because it does make it harder for them to be passed, because they'll put up a little more of a fight. But it looks like the 8 will have no issue getting by them, and neither will the 20. But the 20 did gain quite a bit of time, and now she's on the back bumper of Schleichenbach.
Gabrielle, a big run down the back here. And yeah, I mean, these cars are just kind of trying to run around and get some points, but, you know, at the same time, you don't want to see cars, you know, like this that are very slow cause a hindrance in the lead battle, but at the same time, there's not much they can really do. They're trying to run as fast as they can.
Yeah, it's not their fault for getting in the way or anything. And they're doing a pretty good job of not really getting in the way that much. They're staying on the outside and letting these guys get underneath. So it's good to see that. The 20 of
Gabriella
is trying to get by the 8 here, but didn't have enough momentum to try and move there. 96 car of Rugatino underneath Rachel Cole here for the 4th position, and Rugatino is going to get a run off the inside lane out of turn 2.
Yeah, if your car's running that well on the inside, I think you got a strong car. I think the 99 and 96 are very fast right now, and they're just kind of biding their time. Well, I don't know if Marisha Vebels is biding her time. I feel like she's always at 100%.
Further back, you see the slower car, the 71 of Abby Little, actually held up Handstrom and Tosima and a couple of those other cars that we were talking about trying to peek into the top 10. And so that's going to hurt them from gaining any more positions, as now the top 7 is kind of broken away. And here comes Rugatino to the inside of Vebelst for the 3rd position. Rachel Cole behind them. Who is Rachel going to help? Looks like she's going to go low and help the 96 car.
That's a Ford, Honda, and a Mercedes, so 3 different countries represented just in that manufacturer battle. Only 1 country represented in terms of the drivers, though. But, I mean, we're talking about how, you know, worldwide this series is. That's a German out front in Schliesenbach, but the rest of the field... USA, 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 Japan, USA, Norway, USA, USA. I mean, at these oval tracks, those drivers with the experience that have run this kind of stuff for a while are the ones that are performing well so far.
A couple of drivers we haven't mentioned yet. The 23 car, that is checking real quick. Yappy Malixon, and the 18 of Perry Alicantes, running just outside the top 10, having solid races. They, you know, survived all the chaos up to this point, and even though they might not have the fastest cars yet, they're doing what they need to do right now. Bebel's back underneath Rugatino for the 3rd position.
Those two are having a pretty interesting fight here. I also want to shout out Cynthia Rariston. Again, remember she dropped back. She's now up into the top 10. So, good run for that 32 car.
Trying to pass Handstrom right now. That car, I just don't think that car is as strong as it was earlier.
Yeah, clearly not. I mean, she's not able to hold with this lead group. Not even really this group back here. That has Vebelston, Cole, and Rugatino in it. Harina and Parking's kind of trailing this group as well. I mean, Harina's got quite a bit of experience on these kind of tracks, so... You know, seeing Harina up here at an oval track, not a surprise. Not too big of a surprise, I would say.
These top 2 have pulled away. The leader is 1.3 seconds, about 1.4 seconds ahead of the 3rd place car, and the 20 is just about a second ahead of them. So these two have proven to be pretty fast here in this longer run. But I'm wondering how much of that is them being faster, or how much of that is just these 3 right here continuing to swap positions and kind of getting in their own way.
Yeah,
maybe a little
I'm
bit of both.
Not sure. I mean, obviously the 20 and 8 don't really have a draft right now, and I think one thing that might have been helping them earlier is just the fact that when they catch these lappers, they can pull a little bit of a draft on these cars, so that'll pull them away a little bit. But I mean, back here they've been battling for position for quite a bit, and I mean, maybe we'll have to wait till we see pit stops, but it's been a pretty fun battle. Been a pretty good battle back here, but I don't think that this battle is particularly helping these cars get by.
Karina's going to try and take a 3, but just not close enough to make a move.
96 had to check up for the 15 there.
Rugatino to the inside of Tolerone there, making sure that she doesn't get held up by that car in the middle of the corner. Harina again looking to the inside of Cole this time. They're going to be 3 wide with the lapper.
Lapper just
could
good
be
job by Davison, just kind of staying out of the way there.
Could be a spot here for Harina. But the 52 is keeping the nose ahead.
And interestingly, I feel like the inside lane has actually gotten a little bit better as the tires have worn. like, what, the lap times they're running, they're almost running 2 seconds off now. They're running almost 2 seconds off their fast laps here. I mean, I think these lap times are, the inside lane might be just a little bit faster once the tires start to wear out.
And with that amount of tire wear, you imagine you're going to be seeing them come in for some pits here soon.
Yeah, fuel window here is about 70 laps. We saw them come in about 65, or about 60 to 65.
So if that trend stays true, they're probably still going to stay out here for about another 10, 20 laps or so. So that's interesting in terms of the tire wear. I'd be interested to see which one of these guys comes in first, because I think whoever comes in first is going to have a big advantage over the cars that come in later, at least initially.
Yeah,
Just by gaining all that time, not running on the older tires.
yeah, we saw that in the Continental race where the cars that came in earlier, they got the lead. I think we had a couple cars that gained like 8 or 9 positions just from being the earliest ones to pit, but they ended up falling through the field as the run kept going.
It's like a game of chicken at 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
These two will not stop battling each other. Vebelston, the 96 car, they're constantly going side by side, and that's definitely not helping them catch the leaders, but
No.
it's fun to watch.
Hey, I mean, it's kind of in Marisha's thing to be aggressive, but weirdly, she's
Yeah,
the
I'm
one
not-
who's defending here.
I'm not saying that that I'm surprised about it. I'm just pointing out what's going on.
Hey, to be fair, Marisha's the one defending here. It's the 96 that's been trying to make the moves.
46 is about to fall a lap down.
Now let's see, the 15 and 22 are 4 and 3 laps down respectively. The 46 is going to go 1 down.
Yenfi Yanaga.
I mean, here comes the 52 as well for the 4th position. Pretty solid run through 1 and 2 right now. And there's quite a bit of grip in the track. Because of the cool temperatures, because there's cloud cover. That's going to affect the tires quite a bit here. Just because, like, the more grip that they have, that means the more that it's going to chew them up after a while. I mean, we're seeing the lap times really start to disintegrate at the moment. Like, we're down to 33s, 32s.
I mean, if I'm out there driving the car and I'm running 2 seconds slower than my fast time, that's about when I'd start thinking about coming in and hitting, at the very least. The 20's gonna try and make a pass here on Schleichenbach into turn 1 and 2.
Schleichenbach's gonna get the run up the corner though.
20 did not have a bad exit though,
No,
but she's gonna stay behind the 8.
yeah, she chose to drop back there. Just kind of let it run out here for a little bit. There's Bria Delot in the 55 is the next car that would go a lap down.
Yeah, we saw Dela running up towards the front, and then she kind of got a piece of that accident and fell behind.
Well,
was at the back of the.
She kind of caused the accident, but
Yeah.
know.
She caused the accident. She got a bit of damage from it. She had to restart in the back, and now she's about to get lapped. So it was a promising day for the 55, but this 46 car.
oh, we had an incident. That's
Oh, the
Emery
60,
Wesco.
and the caution's out.
Emery Wesco, and it looks like the 22 of Davison might have also been involved. Although we'll have to.
I
check
wonder.
that.
I wonder if
was
they were
in-
trying to come in and pit and collided.
That could be it.
Well, that's good news for everybody whose tires were screaming, which was everyone. And now they can put new ones on it.
It looks like the 46 will get the free pass here, so
Yeah, that's great news for the 46 too, and maybe that could give her an opportunity to try and fix a little bit of the damage on that car because I think she was involved in one of the accidents.
Yeah, I think it was the first one. But caution's back out, and we're not going to see green flag stops here in this one, or at this point in time. Maybe later in the race. And yeah, AWSCO just retired from the race here. There's a 22.
22 looks like the 22 is gonna keep going, and the 22 was one of those very off the pace cars, so it could have just been, if not a collision going into the pits. The 15 looks like is also out of the race, so she also might have had something to do with it. Either that, or they just decided the damage was too much and decided to park her.
Yeah.
But
well, the 8 car is going to win the race out. It's going to be tight for second, but the 20 is going to get it.
slow stop for, I think, no. Handstrom had a pretty slow stop. She lost even more spots in the pit lane. I thought that was Vebelst, but
No, Mauritius
Bebel's-
still third. Top
yeah,
three.
Bebelst is still third.
Top 3 is unchanged. When we start to see it shake up from 4th on back with the 34 of Arena. So the 46 free pass. 92. Okay.
Interesting that she came down and pitted with the leaders.
So what happens here? Clearly isn't. It was in turn 3.
Who's in turns 3 and 4?
There was a lot of smoke there. Oh, the 92.
Oh, the 92.
92 gets just slightly into the 15.
They all just kind of go up the track into the wall.
Yeah, not much that could be done by anybody really. Just a bit of an accordion there.
And that's what I just mentioned. It was that difference of speed that kind of caused that, because we knew that the 22 and 15 had been off the pace for quite a bit, and 92 just wasn't ready for it. Well, good news for the lead lap cars is that now there's only one of those very off the pace cars left, the 22. So potentially less lap car shenanigans for them.
Yeah, that'll all be dependent on how fast the 60 or the 92 is, though.
The 60 is out of the race.
Oh, right.
So it's just the 92 and the 22
Yeah.
and the 71 and 91 from earlier. But
Yeah.
the lap cars up until that, well, that wasn't even necessarily the fault of the lap cars. It was just bad, just cars crossing paths there. But the lap cars in general have been pretty well behaved in this race. Only been a couple of times where they severely blocked anybody.
So, we've received the 1 to go signal. So the top 10, it's Schliesenbach, Abriella, Vebelst, Harina, Harkings, Rigatino, Nihale, Cole, Malikson, and Jeddah. And I mean, Yappy's looking pretty solid. She didn't have the most amazing runs in her home country, but managed to salvage out some decent finishes there, and in the top 10 in this one. I mean, this one's becoming a little bit more of an attrition race than we saw, at least accident-wise, but
I think the best word to describe Yappy's race, and I never thought I'd say this, quiet.
Yeah,
But she's been doing a good job, so.
yeah. I haven't really heard much from her, which is pretty out of character.
Yeah.
But if it
See
works,
what
it
she
works.
and some of these. We'll see what she and some of these others can do on this restart.
So it'll be Schliesenbach who will lead him to the green, but we'll see. We'll see if she continues to lead. Obviously, the 8 looks pretty strong, but after pit stops, lots of things can change. Here we go, green flag, and the 96 made a bunch of moves trying to get around on the outside there.
That might backfire on her initially. 64 is going to get past her.
Here comes the 20. Charged up that run through. She kind of didn't get a very good restart, but backed up the run and kind of pulled through here in 3 and 4. And Abriella's going to be back out front, but here's the 99 of Marisha Vevels. Is she looking at 3 wide? No, she doesn't do it. And the 8 gets a big run up on the top side here. Now the 99 goes 3 wide.
Oh, does Vebels have enough? I don't think Vebels has enough of a run to do that. We've seen drivers threaten 3 wide going into turns 3 and 4 up at the front. They never quite have the momentum to fully go through on that plan. They are 2 by 2 by 2 here off this restart. Somebody's coming out of the pits. I think it's the 42 car. So,
Yep. Or that's the
or no,
92.
the 92.
71's
71. All those cars are damaged. They're probably just coming in to repair stuff. And here comes Vebels.
What a
Got second, trying to go for the lead. But again, the 8 gets a good roll off the corner, and Vebels is going to have to stay in second. And the 20 might try and take that spot back from her, but she's going to shut the door on her down the front.
Here comes Harina in the 34.
She
Hey,
gave
the
a mega
99
push
now,
to the
though.
20.
The 99 though, now she's going to go up the top side and going to try to do the
Crossover.
crossover. That's one of the driver's favorite moves to make here, and the 99 got a little bit ahead here. Can she outlast the 8?
She's got the nose down the front straightaway. Gonna use the apron down there.
Led the lap. That's the point. But the 8's going to get that run up top here once again.
I mean, it's 3-on-1 going through that corner, and the 8 still got a better run, so that just shows you how much grip you can find up there to get that momentum. She's going to clear the 99 car, but I don't think that's the last move that Vebels has.
No, I don't think so. I think that 99 is just kind of testing what she's got right now.
How about the 64 up into the top 5 all of a sudden, trying to pass her teammate,
Yeah,
Mika Harina.
Jocelina Nighthale now up front in 5th spot. She's side by side with Harina. There's Handstrom. Trying to move back up here.
You know,
There's
Handstrom
Janet
was very
Parkins.
fast. Handstrom was very fast on the short runs early in the race, and it looks like they found that speed again. We'll see how many spots she can make up.
Gonna get to the 71. That looks like. I think the only reason they're catching the 71 is so quickly is because she had to come down pit road.
Yeah.
She had a bit of an extended stay. Vebels with a great run up the high side though there. And
She had to
managed
check up a
stay
bit in the corner.
She had to check up though. She had a great run up top though, on the and was able to stay ahead of the 20. So again, I mean the 99's really ripping the middle lane here.
Rachel Cole, who lost a few positions in the pit cycle, running back in 8th, gonna try and make a big move on this 96 car.
Oh, the 22.
And now the 22 is getting in the way.
Oh, that's stacked
Oh my
up
goodness.
everybody.
That's a big stack up. And bye-bye 20 car. They're going to be 3 wide headed into turn number 1. This 22 somehow has gotten slower than the last time we saw her.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you wreck. And she doesn't have the 15 to give her to draft with anymore, so that's probably also not helping her.
Handstrom is now up to 3rd because of that. Tosma's back up to 5th. The 18 has shown up.
Yeah, Alacante's now in 7th. Nietzsche Garnston in the 27 is up here. She led most of the race at Bathurst, but ended up falling to 2nd on the last pit stop. Cynthia Rariston, pole sitter, now in the top 10 as well.
Oh, she's getting right up to the quarter panel of the 18 there.
Oh,
Oh, that's going to be tight. They're going to make contact, but they're going to save it.
Great save by Alacantes to not get into, to not lose the car there. And here comes the
Here comes
99 to the
Rebels.
inside. Managed to hold pretty well on the inside there. But
Handstrom is there as well.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to get up on the 8, though. See if she tries something coming out of 4, though.
Yep,
yes,
here she comes.
Yes, she does.
And she's got all the help she could ever want. At least for the meantime.
And the 8 cars.
Oh my goodness, Harina just pushed the 19 out of the bottom lane. And now she's going for third. Bevel's going to try and block them both.
I mean, that's what she's got to do here. I mean, also pointing out the 93 of Arinia Tosima, kind of, we didn't see a lot of the 93 in that first long run that we had there, but she's up here into the top 5 now, battling with
That's
these
my
cars.
pick to win. She's still up here.
The driver from Edmonton, Alberta, she knows how to get things done around this kind of track.
Bevels. Still trying to look for a lane to get by Schleichenbach, but that 8 is getting some big runs through the corners, and it's pretty hard for the 99 to get by. And now the 34 is all over her. We've seen Harina make some big moves in this race already.
99's going to get a huge run up top, though. She's going to try... Is she going to try the crossover on Schleichenbach? Yes, she is. Although I don't know if she'll be able to get to her alongside. Oh, she does.
Oh, she did get down there. She got down there anyway.
8 did not get a very good pull on the high side. But the 8's going to try and come back here. 99 leads
What is Handstrom going to do going into 1?
And the 8 just gets the pole. Here comes the 19,
Handstrom.
3 wide to the inside.
Gonna only be 2 wide going into 3 and 4 as the 8 clears them both. Big checkup by the 19. Vebels will keep the spot. Tosima's gonna try and make it a Mercedes
Caution
1, 2,
is
3,
out.
and the caution is out.
The 22.
The 91 and the 22. These guys got to be careful. They're still getting up to speed over there. Don't run into it, please. I think they're gonna be
we're
fine.
Good. I think the only thing I'm worried about now is if the 22 decides to throttle up into one of these cars while because she's technically still racing back to the line.
It's even more damage for the 22, and it looks like she's going to behave herself. Looks like she's actually coming in for some pits right now. Hopefully to retire the car.
42 is out of the race. We'll see
That's
if we
a
can
shame.
get some information on that. Mikhail Yatica in the 92 is going to be the free pass car.
They're just dropping like flies out there.
We're gonna go back. We'll go and check out what happened there, but
That is the 4th caution of the race, and we're not even halfway yet.
552. And the 8 car is gonna win the race out. 99 is still gonna be second. 19 is gonna jump to third, and
Another bad stop for Raristown.
.32 just, I mean, Sylvia just can't, she's just not getting off pit road very well.
The 96 car also lost quite a bit of spots in the pits.
Yeah, Rubitina really dropped back.
The 91's still out there. Looks like she might end up getting a lap back.
I think the 91 pitted coming to the caution. So Yatica is the free pass car. And the 91 will get the wave around for being at the tail end here.
That should leave us with 21 lead lap cars, I believe.
Yeah.
22 lead lap cars.
It'll be 21. The 91's a lap down, as she was tail end of 1 lap down.
Okay.
22, I think, is still running.
Oh dear.
Unfortunately.
6 laps down.
Well, let's check out what happened there to cause that, because I think that was two. I think that was two slow cars.
Could have been another situation like what happened the previous caution. Gabby Abrielle has fallen all the way down to 20th.
Okay, well, let's see
So there
what
were
happens.
there were several cars with very slow stops. That'll shake the field up on this
Right here.
restart.
Oh, yeah. She just didn't
She was-
see her there. Been a
Just
tough
blocking
day
the
for
91.
been a tough day for Byrne as well. Lights are out, so at the moment it is Schliesenbach, Vebelst, Hanstrom, Tosima, Nihale, Cole, Harina, Alicantes, Garnston, Ijavida, the top 10.
We've got 3 Mercedes in the top 4 on this restart.
Yeah, remember when it was Ford? Oh, there was a bunch of Fords in the top 5, and now it's a bunch of Mercedes in the top 5. I mean, right now the battle
Basically,
for the lead is pretty much all Mercedes.
Yeah, most of the Fords, they either crashed or, in the 96's case, just had a bad pit stop in that last one.
Yeah.
Handstrom's basically the only Ford left in the top 7. You've still got the 18 up in the top 10, but
All right, green flag is out.
how aggressive will the 99 be on the restart?
We'll see. The 93 is the aggressive one right now. She's trying to dive down and get by the 19, and looks like she'll get that spot. Yeah, 99 goes
Handstrom
for
got
it.
smoked on that restart. Here comes the
Okay.
64.
Here comes Nihale. Here comes Vebels. Great drive for 3 and
Vebels-
4.
Rebels is
And
going to get the lead.
99 will get the lead here and hold on to it. She's finally going to get clear for the lead on the 8. And here comes the 93 of Tosima. We're going to make it an ERR 1-2.
Handstrom going down low.
3
He might
wide.
actually get 3 wide for second this time. And here comes Handstrom just powering down on the inside. The 93 washes up a bit. She's going to get past both of them. And the 64 is trying to get through the middle there. She's battling her teammate, Mika Harina.
Can Tosima get this back? Ooh, she got a good run up top, but there's still 3.
They're still 3 wide.
I mean, 3 wide on the outside and 3 and 4. It's just not that strong. I mean, it'll work in 1 and 2, but you just can't do it in 3 and 4. And 93 is gonna lose all that she gained from that.
And that's got to be frustrating for Tosma because that's not the first time that's happened to her this race.
No, not at all.
Handstrom is at the back bumper of the 99. She might take a look for the lead. She is going to take a look for the lead going into 3.
16 and Jetta appears to have come to pit road, so that's put her a lap down. That might be damage related.
That is a bad few laps for Southwest Racing.
Yeah. Speaking of Southwest Racing, Matty, what do you have on the 42?
Yeah, I'm back at the garage again here in Las Vegas, and I'm hearing that they had a battery that completely died on them, and the voltage went suddenly from a normal level of about 9-10 volts down to about 3 pretty much immediately. They couldn't get that one started, they couldn't get the spare battery started, so they had no choice but to retire. So that's it for that team. Thankfully, not a catastrophic thing like what happened to the 82 earlier, but still very disappointing. Back up to you.
And Handstrom's taken the lead from Vebelst. She's gotten by.
Good run.
Gotten
for
clear.
the 99.
Here comes the 99 with a huge run down the inside.
Handstrom tried to block her, but she was already down there.
Here comes the 18 of Alacantes.
You know who I think we haven't mentioned a single time this race? Not Alacantes, but the car behind Alacantes.
The 27?
The 2 car.
Oh, the 2 of Ajavida, yeah. I mean, that's both of the North Star cars up here in the top 10, because her teammate Cole is also up here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've mentioned her the entire race, but she's in the top 10 now, so good run for her.
And as well, I'd like to point out the 27, Nietzsche Garnston. Driver from Seattle, Washington. Running up at the front again. For Royal Racing, I mean, she had that great run last week at Bathurst that just got spoiled by that pit stop.
Again.
Oh
my goodness.
God.
Tosima again stuck on the top side, and now they're running up on the lap car, so this is going to be very bad for Tosima.
They're looking at 4 wide here.
Oh my goodness, there's no way they make it work. They are going to make it work for now.
Let's see how long that lasts.
Well, right when we were talking about Alicante, she got caught up in that, so that's unfortunate for her.
Yeah.
She's still getting held up back there.
Finally, she'll
looks
get
like the 46. Looks like the 46 is keeping pace with the pack now, so that's
that's a good sign.
If there's any good to take away from the Southwest Racing's day to day, at least the 46 is still running okay.
Yeah, Yanaga's still at least kind of up here.
I mean, at this point, if you're still on the lead lap, you're having a good day, because we've had so many cars crash and have mechanical failures and whatnot. If you're still on the lead lap, I'd consider that a good day. A lot of green cars at the front right now.
Yeah,
Vebels is going to clear Harina.
Handstrom, Vebels, Harina. That's a lot of green we're seeing at the front.
You know, they say that green cars are bad luck in racing, but
I don't think it is right now.
Yeah, definitely not.
Although
unless you're Abby Little, I guess.
Well, I mean, I guess that's more of a black car.
Well, I guess you could argue the 99 is also more of a black car.
Or the 19.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. A 64. Nihale's up here. She's gotten up to 3rd. And we're starting to see the 8 kind of climb her way back up.
Nihale's been having a sneaky strong day here today. She's been in the top 10 for quite a bit now. Now she's up to 3rd. She could be in contention for this win if she keeps it up.
It's too wide still back here.
These front 4 kind of broken away from everybody else. You see 27 going to try and go into the top 5. Probably, I think, for the first time today. Trying to get by Schleisenbach.
And the 64 makes that move for 2nd. Well, still a lot of good
gonna
battles.
try and push her.
Still a lot of good battles on track right now.
Oh, absolutely.
99 could not get the pole on the outside. See if she can get it here. 34 is giving the 64 a big push.
Yeah, the Atlantic cars are doing a great job working together right here. And that'll put Nighthale in 2nd, and maybe Harina's going to be able to clear for 3rd. It looks like she will.
Yeah, looks like she will.
That's some good teamwork right there.
The more I watch this track, the more I'm like, yeah, you can run the inside well if you just run it well enough. And now it's kind of like, if you just have help, or literally if the car on the outside kind of bobbles a little bit, you can make that move stick. And this is a very competitive track.
Here comes the 20, trying to break back into the top 10 after that rough pit stop, taking the 96 with her. Both of them fell to the back of the lead lap after really slow pit stops under the last caution. They're both trying to recover from that.
Hey, these cars have caught back up. 64 or 34 have both pulled the 19 right back in, and now the Hondas look fast.
We'll see what the 64 and 34 do. It's not just the Atlanta cars either. I think the 27 is a Honda, and she's been gaining some spots. The 2 car has been gaining some spots. The 52 is still up here. You've got 5 Hondas up here inside the top 10. So it's interesting to see how the manufacturers are stacking up. Like at first the Fords were really fast, and then you saw the Mercedes get up there and lead a bunch of laps, and now the Hondas are showing up.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a Honda on the pole too with Cynthia Rariston. Ooh,
Looks like we're going to catch the 22 again.
Yeah, they're going to catch the 22.
That's really fast.
Yeah, the 16 is on the pace. She's just kind of been hurt by being a lap down.
Yeah, she's hoping for a yellow so she can get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, for a yellow or some kind of weird caution at some point, like maybe during a green flag cycle that will let her cycle back out.
Oh my goodness.
That was a
That
little
was a little
closer
too
than
close.
I think most of them would have liked. Harina's up to second. She got by Nihale there. We're seeing these cars just kind of gather around. Ooh, the 27
Whoa.
had to check up for the 22 there. That's not.
That could have been a lot worse though.
Yeah.
Oh, the
That
20 and the
also-
32.
That also could have been a lot worse. The 20 almost gets into the 32. I don't think they touched,
Rariston almost got hooked in there. She would have got hooked. She would have gone straight into the outside wall. So, but again, they've been pretty disciplined off of that corner, and I really thought that was going to be the trouble spot today. I thought we were going to see a lot more crashes off of turn 4. We've seen them in turn 1. We've seen them in turn 2. We've seen them in turn 3. But other than like one little incident where 2 cars got together and they both saved it, there hasn't been, I don't think, any issues off of turn 4 whatsoever. So it's been like everywhere but turn 4.
Not ones that I've seen, at least. But, I mean, we haven't really had particularly that big of a trouble spot all race. Like, the wrecks haven't really been concentrated in one specific spot.
Oh, if I'm the 19, I better hope my teammate gets out of the way.
Looks like she does. The 16
34
now
had a
is ahead of the 91. So, the good news there is that the 16 now first car 1 lap down. The bad news is she still needs a caution to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, the 34 tried to peak last lap underneath the 19, but didn't have enough momentum to do it. And again, the top 4 have kind of pulled ahead. Yappy's up to 5th now.
Wow, a 23. And she's making a lot of noise now.
Absolutely. She better hope that she doesn't get stuck behind the 23 though, or behind the 91, I should say.
Yeah.
Uh,
Both North Star cars right next to each other.
High.
That's Cole and Ijavida.
Again, you see some pairs of teammates that are up here. They're working well together. Oh, Harina's to the inside. And she's going to make it stick, at least for the meantime, down there. The 19's a little better off the corner. And it looks like she'll clear.
And 34 tried.
She's been putting in an effort. She's been making some pretty impressive moves in this race. Oh, Rariston's getting held up.
Yeah, the 32's not. The 32's being held behind the 91 now.
Should be able to slot in behind Tosima, though.
Yeah, it looks like that's what she'll do. The 34, though, I
Harina
think
onto
it's
the back
faster.
bumper. And now she's got her teammate back behind her. Maybe they'll start
I'm starting to
some,
catch the
teammate.
16 as well, so... I mean, the 16 of Angetta isn't exactly, like, slow. In fact, I think the 16 may honestly be, like... may honestly have the pace to stay with these leaders, at least for a little bit.
71 of Abby Little. They're going to run into her here very soon.
Yeah, they're going to run into the 71 before they run into the 16. And the 71's already 3 laps down, and she'll end up a 4th lap down here.
Harina still on the back bumper of Handstrom, just trying to find the opportunity to get by. The 96 is now back into the top 10.
Yeah, Rugatino looking pretty solid at the moment. Arinia Tosima. I mean, the 93 I think has had a car that can compete for the win. Just the problem is she keeps getting shuffled out.
Handstrom gonna get underneath Abby Little here.
But I mean, aside from those 2 cars that are out of the race, it's been a pretty good, solid run for ERR and just Mercedes in general. The 8 led a lot of laps. The 99 and 93 both are pretty fast.
The 39 was looking pretty quick until the crash.
Yeah, the 39 was a fast car until she got taken out. Nothing to say about MBYW, though.
I mean, I think Waterton's still running in this race.
Yeah.
But she just has not been...
She's in 17th.
She's not
on the lead
had it.
lap.
Yeah, so again, it could be worse for her, but,
Yeah.
you know, it just has not had pace today. But, I mean, I guess it is better than being... It's better than being wrecked, so...
Yeah.
It's like I said earlier, if you're still on the lead lap in this race, you're having a pretty good day.
We're gonna catch the 22
Oh, the
again.
22.
Whoa!
Handstrom going to go around the outside. And they're now
Alright.
closed in on Sky and Jetta.
I am surprised that worked. And Jetta doesn't have a
This
horse
could be
in
a
this
move
race.
for Harina, though.
And Jetta doesn't have a horse in this race, so at this point, all Jetta's trying to do is stay 1 down so that when she gets waved around, it becomes, or if she can get the free pass, she'll go back to being lead lap instead of being 1 down again.
Yeah,
And Harina,
this is basically the race on the line here for Sky and Jetta. It's hard to come back from 2 down, but with the right stroke of luck, you can go 1 down. So she's not going to make it easy for them to pass her.
and I forgot to mention this, but 4 laps ago, we actually hit halfway.
Do we give out bonus points for halfway
No.
in this series? Or
We are at
Yeah.
the halfway point. We actually hit the halfway point like 5 laps ago, but Mika Harina leading the way so far, and I
she
think
got
it's
around the 19.
been a pretty interesting, solid race.
Catching another lapper here in the 92 car.
Yep, it's
And she's a
Yaska.
bit more off the pace. Not as bad as some of the other damaged cars, but definitely not keeping up with the pace of the 16.
So I think it's time. Well, we're mid-race, so I think we're gonna go down to the FanDuel fan studio. Rasha, you're there. I understand our other pit reporter has disappeared into a fine mist.
Where the heck did everyone go? It's the only one here right now. I think everyone's been teleported somewhere else. Unfortunate for them because they don't get to host the mid-race report with me here. And yeah, we've had a pretty decent green flag run going here. I think couple of incidents that kind of mar the race. We haven't really had that long of a green flag run so far. I'm not sure if we had any green flag pit stops yet. I don't think we've got any chance to do that. So there might still be a chance of that happening, but since we're halfway through the race right now, it's chances for a green flag pit cycle happening are going to be a little bit low. But yeah, Mika Harina, your leader in the number 34 Holiday and Honda Accord, followed by the 19 of Holiday Handsome, started second, still second right now with the 19. Yasuka's a lap down, sorry. That'll be the 64 of, that's Angelina Nigel? Yeah.
Jocelyn
Nigel.
Nigel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Jocelyn Nigel in the Circle K car, then it's the 99, right? The 99 of Vebelst in 4th, and rounding it up, it's running up the top 5 is Yappy Malix in the 23, so a pretty interesting top 5, I should say. I mean, the 30, the 19, of course, started up front, has been running here most of the race. The 34 has moved up a little bit as well, started kind of in that top 20, kind of been moving up. Not sure where that 64, 64 started around the same kind of area as the 34 did. The 99's been a little bit up and down the field, and she's been running really good as well. And how about Yappy Malikson, who started way down on the inside of row 19, 37th place. So it's been a real journey for her to move up this high, up the field. So great run so far developing for that 23 car, who hasn't had the greatest of runs, well, in terms of finishing positions, anyways. But yeah, a lot of early troubles as well for some drivers. Quite a few cars involved in incidents. Got a couple of mechanical failures as well, including our current championship leader, Paceman Nigeria, who retired earlier on in the race. And yeah, as this run goes on, I think it'll be rather interesting to see how the teams plan out right now. I think so far, as we haven't had that green flag pit cycle yet, I wonder if teams are going to be planning for that to happen, or if they're going to anticipate another kind of caution breaking that run up again. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams configure their car setups here, whether or not they're going to be going for a long run or a shorter run balanced car. Yeah, a few incidents early on. They had that big wreck. Into one. Surprisingly, I don't think we've had any incidents out of 4 yet. And but yeah, most of the incidents have been going into one. So it's definitely a bit of a interesting foil, I think, in terms of the where the incidents have been happening. We haven't had they've been happening at a part of the track that I don't think any of us were anticipating. As the 34 here jumps down to the inside of Sky and Jetta. I think that will put her 2 laps down. Yes, from tail end of one looking to do so, but Handstrom is just kind of held, and 34 kind of got held up there. Handstrom now looking to the inside. But yeah, we kind of hit that lull in the race, I think, a little bit. As I believe, is it time to do our picks for the race here? All right, I'm getting the message there. Yes, it is in fact time to do our FanDuel fan picks for the race. Let's see here. I haven't had too much of an opportunity to analyze this race in depth yet, but there's quite a few cars that have caught my eye in these last couple of laps. I'm gonna go with the 99 of Mauricia Vebels here. Vebels has had good pace all race so far. I think she's kind of got the right strategy. She's been kind of running around that top 5, top 10 all day. And while it's gonna take a little bit of a strategy to climb her way up through to meet those top 3, I think she's gonna have the team to get up there and contend for the win. I think. As now we'll take you back to our booth here, as our 2 commentators will have their own picks. Echo, yeah?
Yeah, I got you, Brennan. What do you have a pick here, mid-race? What are you thinking?
Well, my pre-race pick's not in the top 10 anymore. I'll pick someone else here for my mid-race pick. I think Arlen Handstrom has been the strongest car overall in this race. She's running in second right now, trying to get back by Mika Harina for the lead. I think this car has been the most impressive pace-wise over the course of the entire race. She's kind of had some ups and downs through the field, but this 19 team has done a good job of adjusting her car as it goes later into the run, and I think Handstrom's got the best shot of winning this race in terms of pace.
Well, I think I'll take a little bit of a long shot here. I'm going to take Yappy Malikson of the 23. I mean, she's in fourth spot right now. She just took that away from Mauricia Vebels, and she started all the way back at 37th to start this one out, and she's actually managed to move up almost through the entire field. So I think the 23 is going to have a bit of a surprise for these leaders at the end of this one. And those are your FanDuel fan picks. As this one's been interesting. I mean, and Jetta's right now staying ahead of the leaders. The problem is now, because the
Oh my goodness.
92, because the 92 is a lap down, the 16 is actually the second car one lap down. And we're hearing that the 20 car is out of the race.
Oh, that's a shame.
We'll have to get some more.
Gabriella.
We'll have to get some more information on that.
Gabriella was one of the faster cars at the start of the race, and here's something went wrong on that car, and now she's no longer running. So that sucks for her and the Team Flervant.
Yeah, Rashi, you got an update on the 20?
Yep, I just came down pit road, and a big smoky on that 20. That engine was not operating very well. Definitely something went wrong on that 20 car, and it's definitely a fatal blow to that engine. So I'm gonna have to pack it up and take that to the garage and kind of see what went wrong there. But a big blow to one of the better teams so far today. I mean, but also definitely the more snake bitten of the Team Flervant cars, I think. Taking you back to the booth with Echo now.
Yeah, Gabriella has only had one top 20 finish the entire season, and it doesn't really reflect her pace because Gabriella's been very fast pretty much all season. Just something happens to her one way or another and takes her out. And I mean, you just got to feel for her.
I want to point something out. These top 3 cars are 5 seconds ahead of Yappy back and forth. And they have really pulled away from Webelst and Schleisenbach and all these other cars that we thought were going to be contending for the win. So I think these 3 that are up here right now are probably the ones to watch unless we get another yellow to have the best shot of winning this. I mean, we've still got over 100 laps left in this race, but like, if you're pulling that amount of time on the rest of the field, I mean, even then they gained about 3/10 on them that last lap. Even still, your cars are definitely very fast. So I think these 2 Atlantic cars and the 19 are probably going to be the ones. They're probably going to be the favorites to win this race at this stage.
See, I'd agree with you, but here's the thing. We still have at least one more pit cycle to go. We might have 2. Although I think it'll depend on when they come down pit road.
Check the tire wear on what they're at right now.
Yeah, they're at 30 point. So 34 ran a 30.4 last lap. And this lap.
Yeah, they're on 2 seconds of tire wear right now. So
Yeah. The pit window usually is about 65 laps, so that puts them coming in at about eight or so laps. After that,
Yeah,
that would put them at pitting at 233. So very possibly a 2. It's most likely going to be a 2-stopper from this point.
we almost got the cycle. This is about where we were in the last long run that we had before the caution came out for the incident between the 22 and the 15. And
we saw in the Continental race yesterday that, like, these cars that kind of gapped the field a little bit, they pitted early, and these cars that pitted, like, further back, kind of pitted a little later, they wouldn't be, they would be further back at the start of the run, but they were able to reel them in and get by them eventually. As we got to move for the lead. Here comes the 19, looking to the inside on the 34. No.
I think what it comes down to, if you're a part of this second group right here from 4th on back, is just to do the opposite of what the leader is doing, because you're not going to gain that much time by just doing what they're doing. So if you want a chance to get back into this race, you got to try and take a risk. I mean, it is Vegas. We got to take some gambles here, and just see what happens. I think that's the mindset of the crew chiefs of the cars that aren't in the top 3 right now, and maybe even including the third place car, because even she is starting to get left behind by Harina and the 19 car. So
Yeah, Nihile's
maybe
just,
even we might even see Nihil try something different here.
Nihile's kind of slipping back, and Hamstrom's just kind of staying back here in second. I mean, this is kind of parallel to Bathurst, where at Bathurst we saw the 19 was behind the 27, definitely faster than the 27 for most of that run, but wasn't able to get by her until the last pit stop, where she just snookered her on something on an undercut basically, and didn't look back. And you have to wonder, is Hamstrom just kind of trying to stay back behind in 34, or is she maybe going to try some pit strategy here? Sydney Raristoun moved up through the field here as the 99 is down pit road.
In the pits.
So that's our
Vebels will be the
first
first
taker.
one to come down.
First one of the leaders. Looks like the 71, 46, 91, and 92 have all been in. 10 car.
And here comes
is
Harina.
in. Oh, 34
Leader
is
in now.
That'll give the 19 the lead.
And a lot of the drivers from the second pack, just like I said, they are staying out longer. They're doing the opposite of what the leader's doing.
32 and
Not
27
necessarily. I don't necessarily know if that's the best move, but you gotta try something.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here. 19 comes in. Looks like the 64 is in.
Yappy's
23
gonna
is
stay
going to
out.
stay out.
So
Looks like pretty
that's
much everyone
probably gonna
here
be
is staying out. 18 and 55 are coming in.
that's gonna be a lap lead for Yappy.
Yep, 23 will get a lap lead there, so that's 1 point for her. I mean, the interesting thing to note as well is that because the 99 pitted the earliest, the 99's probably going to jump out ahead of these cars that are staying out long here. Yeah, now the 23 is in. Looks like the 8
The
will
8's still out.
stay out. 93, 96, 52, 13 are all coming in. There's the 34.
Don't know if the 46 is coming or not.
I believe she has. 2, Vijavida is coming back to pit road, I believe.
Possible
issue there. We'll have to see what's going on there. 8 car of
Schleisenbach is in now. That should be the last of the cycle.
Yeah. And there's the 34, there's the 19.
Harina got out back ahead of Handstrom, but Handstrom pitted 1 lap later, so she's going to have slightly fresher tires than the 34 does.
I believe the 16 has not pitted. I believe the 16 is still out on track trying to catch that caution.
That makes sense because she pitted at a different time than
Yeah.
and here you see the effects of the undercut, like
Now
you
she
mentioned
comes in.
earlier. And Jetta's in now, but you see the effect of the undercut now by the 99. She's ahead of the 64, who was 4 seconds ahead of her
Yeah.
before the cycle started. Unfortunately, I don't think the 99 is going to be able to hold on to that position for too long, given the difference in tires here. But that could potentially work out for Vebels, though. And this 34 car is catching multiple lapped cars. And the 46, who's on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, 46 was the last car on the lead lap.
And the 34 has been using the draft off these cars to leave the 19 in the dust.
Yeah.
64 does get by Vebelst, like I said, so that'll put her back up into 3rd. Vebelst in 4th, and they're very spread out now after that cycle. Looks like it's going to be Rariston, and then the 27, and then the 23.
32-27 battling for 5th right here. Looks like Garnston's going to take that spot.
That'll move Garnston into the top 5.
Devils fighting back on Nihale.
Well, she wasn't just going to give up that easy.
Oh no. I mean, with how long this run in is and with how far apart these cars are from each other, I mean, you're battling for every position at this point. It's become more of a kind of typical race. It's not really like where the draft matters as much. I mean, the draft still matters, obviously, but, you know, there's not really anybody that's kind of in a group right now.
Ironically, I think the biggest group right now is the one that Harina's in.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think she's gotten past all of them.
The 2 car is tail end the lead lap.
Yeah. Two-car had some sort of issue there. She's lost almost 10 seconds to the rest of the pack. She was not that far back beforehand, so we'll have to follow.
Yeah, she was in the top 10.
We'll have to follow up
She was
on
in the-
that. See what was up
In the
with
top
two.
10 before that happened. Well, now the 19 of Handstrom got the draft off of the lap cars and is starting to pass them, so the gap's starting to close again between the top 2. That's something we should be tracking here over these next couple of laps. It was 2.12 seconds 2 laps ago, and now it's down to 1.5 seconds
1.5
between Handstrom and Harina.
And they
But I think
put the
Harina's getting
10
some.
of
I think Harina's
Stoneman.
getting some draft off of. Oh boy.
She's got the 22 in front of her. That'll be an issue for just a little bit. I mean, the 34 could be getting some draft off the 2 as well here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say before I noticed the 22 just appeared out of thin air again.
Yeah, now it's down to under a second.
Yeah, I think the 22 has something to do with that. Handstrom is charging through these lap cars to try and get back up to the 34. The 10 is not going to be that easy to pass, though.
99's
Bevels
back
has
around
actually
the
gotten
64.
Yeah, Vebels has gotten back past the 64 car, so these two are now
Garston,
locked into a duel for
fifth.
3rd.
We see Rariston in 6th. Malixon's still 7th. I mean, who's 8th? Ooh, it's Perry Alacantes. I mean, 18, yeah, looking pretty solid. Cole and Tosin are fighting for that for the 9th spot. And Schliesenbach
Good
is
rebound.
11th.
It's a good rebound for Alacantes after the lap car issue that she had earlier.
16 cars still in the lead lap. And,
Oh my goodness.
oh, the 99 really got held up.
How many laps down is this car now?
12.
Oh dear.
Yeah, might as well try and get some points, I guess.
And she's still passing cars because you have a couple of cars having terminal engine problems, like the 20.
Yeah.
So she's still gaining points by running out there, much to the chagrin of the other cars on the track, but
Yeah. I
she
mean,
still has motivation
she's
to...
doing a good job
there.
staying out of the way mostly, so
Ooh, she might get in the way of
Keyword
her
mostly.
teammate here. Yeah. That's a couple of red racing cars.
I mean, to be honest, she's slow enough. She's slow enough to the point where even if she holds you up in the corner, you just drive by on the straightaways anyway, so it doesn't really hurt you too much. 55 cars
55 in
on
the
pit
pits.
road. That appears to be unscheduled. We'll see if we can find something
And
out on that.
possibly an extended stay as well for the 55.
Yeah.
They dropped the jack and weren't doing much else. Handstrom's gotten by Harina.
Oh yeah, she has. 19
Harina's
makes
going
the
to fight
pass.
back. Also tracking the lap. I'm also tracking the gap between these two and the 3rd place car. And it's still about 5 seconds, which is about what it was. Well, not for the 64. The 64 was a lot closer, but it's like generally their closest competition was about 5 seconds back. And it looks like Vebels has lost 3rd again. 46 is hoping we get a caution because I think she'd be the free pass.
The
Naga.
10 would be the
Oh,
free
no, the
pass
10
at the
would.
moment.
So that would actually be Stoneman hoping that we get a caution. The 55's still in the pit, so clearly something has gone awry on that car.
Oh, caution! Caution has just
Oh.
come out.
Oh boy. What is the caution
I'm
for?
not sure what the caution is for.
Did the race officials
Sounds
get bored?
Sounds like there might be debris on the racetrack. We'll have to look and see. But the caution has come out.
Maybe debris dropped by the 55.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, there's the caution that Stoneman needed. We were just talking about how she needed one, and she got one.
Russia, do you have anything on the 55?
Yeah, they're looking around the fuel system. They think they have a leak going on in the 55. Whether or not they're gonna be able to come back out here is kind of conditional. They're gonna have to. There's a good chance they're gonna have to go to the garage here, and that might be a terminal problem. There's a very small chance that they'll be able to come out on track, but it doesn't look very good right now for that team. As the cars now come down onto pit road, and we're gonna get back to you with some of the teams into their pit strategies right now. Back to you, Echo, for now.
All right. Well, that's a tough break for.
Whoa. Rariston, was that? She came in a lap earlier, I think.
Oh yeah. 19
Angstrom's
lost a
gonna lose
lot
second.
of spots.
Well, she only lost one spot because
I think the 32 might have been the caution.
that is definitely possible, yeah. That's a weird time to pit because I'm pretty sure the pits would be closed. So,
Where's the 32? No, she scored lead lap, so I don't know. I don't know what that was.
last time by, she was in 5th.
Yeah. Did she just have that good of a stop?
Well, it says she...
It says it took 16.94. So Stoneman free pass. Yeah, I think 32
We'll have
is
to
going to be
see.
the leader. Yeah, 32
Yeah,
is the
she
leader.
is. And so that means Atlantic Racing currently has a 1-2-3.
Yeah. Well, alright, I'm going to try and see if there was any incident that brought out the caution flag. But if there wasn't, I guess we're just going to have to assume that the officials saw some debris on the track and wanted to clean that up. Maybe it could have been from that fuel leak from the...
The 22 is out of the race.
Oh,
Finally.
finally.
Maybe she was the caution. Did that thing finally just die on her? Or maybe it was in turn 3.
Was it the 92 again?
Oh,
It was the 92
again.
again. I think that was the caution. No?
No, it was not.
That was not the caution. She came down pit road anyways.
It just gave up.
Alright. Well,
She got that last little hit finally killed it.
maybe that's what the
Unbelievable.
debris is from.
That's kind of funny. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it.
I can kind of tell you
It's
it's not
like-
funny. There's the caution.
It's like in Wreckfest when you're down at 1% health and then you just get sideswiped by somebody and that kills your race. Did they even service her car?
Or is that a glitch? What's up, Russia, on the 99 car?
Yeah, that last the green flag cycle wasn't entirely ideal for the 99 car. Mauricia Vebels has been kind of complaining about the handling. I think the adjustments they made on that that previous pit stop wasn't to her liking, so this caution was, I think, a good bit of fortune for her. She was able to make, they're able to make some extra, some additional adjustments to the car alongside new tires and a bit of gas.
I was a little late on. Officials appeared to be a little late on giving the wave rounds for those cars that are in between the top 10 spots, but here we go. Green flag is out once again, and it's Cynthia Rariston.
Handstrom making quick work of the 64 car.
Everyone came down pit road again.
Yeah, this is great news for Vettel, Schiappi, all those drivers that were well back of the leaders now have another chance of trying to make some spots up, and Vettel is wasting no time doing that, and neither is Handstrom. She's going to try and get to the lead by passing all these Atlantic racing cars off the restart.
They're all lined up on the high side, too.
They're not getting the run up there, though. 19, 99, 27 are all going to be clear. I don't think this 32... the 32, I don't think, changed tires on the restart, and it's kind of holding up everybody. Or on the last caution, I should say.
And here comes the 99 of Ebelst.
Straight to the lead. She wasted no time. Tosama's also gaining a ton of spots. She's up into the top 5 already.
Yeah, the 32 ran a 29.0.
She does not seem to have great pace, though.
Yeah, no, she's definitely holding up the outside lane, but I don't know. I don't know what happened, honestly. Guys, I'm still trying to figure that out. 19 gets pinned at the bottom. Here comes Nietzsche Garnston for second.
This is the highest we've seen.
Garnston and Handstrom side by side again. Remember, they were the two battling at Bathurst last week.
Garnston, this is the highest we've seen her all day. And she picked a pretty good time to show up.
It's fitting that the drivers from the West Coast are doing really good here because, I mean, Vevelst from San Diego out front here. The 27 Washington driver in second. You see Cynthia Rariston from Arizona. She won the pole for this race. She was up at the front for a little bit there. Although, honestly, something must be wrong with that car in some way.
I don't think they got the full service that they wanted under that caution, and that explains why she got to the lead, and that also explains why she's not up to speed. Because you kind of saw her just go in and out of her box.
You know, that probably is it, now that I think about it, because, I mean, the reason she's probably running still somewhat decent lap times is just probably because, I mean, we just came off that pit stop, so...
Handstrom's going to get second back. Harina trying to get third.
There's Tosama. Look at the 93. Once again, benefiting from these restarts, getting back up here towards the front.
Gonna try and look on Harina here for the third position. Not quite gonna get there.
I mean, we got two sets of teammates up here now because the 99 and 93 are here, and then there's the two Atlantic racing cars that have been fast all day, the 34 and the 64.
They're all closing in on Vettelst here.
Yeah, Vettelst.
She's gonna have to hold off the horde. Ooh, not a good entry to the corner for Harina. That's gonna be good news for Handstrom and Tosama. Move the 93 up to third place.
And she got a huge run off of turn number 2 there. Handstrom's going to get a huge run off turn 4, though. Here comes the 19. Maybe looking... Does she look inside? Yes, she does.
Goes all the way down to the apron.
Well, we'll see what Vettelst does here.
Not as good of a run as we've been seeing Handstrom getting, but should be good enough to clear.
Yeah.
Handstrom's still going to be there, though. I don't imagine Tosma's going to be too keen on helping the 19s, so...
Probably not. I mean, Tosma's got a teammate out in the lead right now.
There's a car in front of the leaders.
That is the 71.
Abby Little.
First car
Well,
lap
the
down.
main slow car is finally out of the race, so
Yeah, the 22's out of the race now, so it's going to be a little better off. 27's starting to drop positions here. 27's kind of dropped behind the 64, battling with the 8 right now. 18 of Alacante's.
How about- I want to point out the 13 car is in the top 10 now.
Yeah.
After we mentioned how she was lacking in speed today, maybe they found some pace here late in the going.
Yeah, Yania Waterton. I mean, she has also not had very good luck this season. I mean, won the pole in the Daytona 500, and that's about the best I can say about her, because she has not done particularly well outside of that. 36th in the point standings at the moment. We got a battle for second. Here comes Tosima. Tosima's gonna...
Tosima might use the lap car as a pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's what she's trying to do. And the 71 does go up. And the 93 is gonna take this spot. What a move by Tosima. Playing that perfectly.
Anstrom looked like she was going to try and dive it in on the exit of 4, but she checked up in the middle of the corner. And that's going to give these ERR cars a 1-2 right now, with
99,
about
93.
70 laps to go.
Yeah. Some people like seeing that. That person is me. For obvious reasons.
Tosima's gonna have her hands full though. Handstrom, we know Handstrom probably has the best car overall. She's been up front the most, so I think it's gonna be hard to defend from that, and it looks like Handstrom will indeed retake second. 93 went really high.
I think
Almost
that's gonna
too
stick.
high, but she still's gonna make it work. And now
here comes the
Harina's gonna
34.
try and get under.
We've hit lap 200. So this is where the Continental race ended yesterday, but we still have about 67 more laps to go. We have 100 more miles left in this one.
That's about the length of a LSCI race.
Yeah.
Boy,
you
it's
could-
been a long night.
You can think of it as an LSCI race the rest of the way, except we start with, like, 20
Except I
cars.
recorded 3 of them beforehand.
Yeah.
LSCI is going to be having their finale at this track this year. So
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty fun.
Well, I'm sure a Las Vegas finale will go well.
Trust me, this time it'll work.
There's Nihil and Harina fighting for the 4th position now. See Tosima is trying to fend off Handstrom still.
Yeah, this 19 is really quick. It's going to be, I mean, that's my mid-race pick and my before the race pick. So I think I did a good job of neither of them are in first, but they're both right there. They could still win it. I think honestly anybody in this top 5 probably still has a decent shot, and if things can go right for the cars behind them, there's still quite a few cars in the top 10 that could definitely have a shot at this. I mean, we saw the 8 car really fast for one of the runs earlier in the race. She hasn't shown that same pace quite yet, but you know, she's still up in 6th, so she's still in it.
Yeah, and the 27 as well of Nietzsche Garnston. Another pretty good run for her. I mean, again, I have to give a lot of praise to Royal Racing, because that team has honestly come out of the gates pretty well for being a new team to all this.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you want to see. You want to see those good runs stacking up especially if you're a brand new team. Gives you some good experience, gives you some idea of what works and what doesn't. Kind of skipping through some of the growing phases of that. So that's good for Royal Racing and their future in the series and their development. Yeah. It looks like they've hit the ground running here.
And Tolaron, who owns that team and also drives one of their cars.
Oh boy, look at this. We're about to have a 4-car battle for the lead here soon. Because they've all closed up on Vebels. And Harina has had an incredible charge. She's going to get by the 93. She might get by the 19. What a run she had through 3 and 4.
I think the 93 is going to support the 34.
Oh, she drives it up. Almost drove it up the hill there, but she made it stick. We got a few lap cars ahead of them, so that's going to throw them into the mix. The 46 car Harina's going to move to second.
I'm gonna catch that 46. 46 got waived on the last, on the restart.
And 46 is definitely a little bit off the pace compared to these leaders, but it's not
Yeah.
as bad as some of the others that we've seen today. Oh, the 46 is gonna get in the way of the 99 a little bit, but
She's doing her best right now. I mean, she'll get in the way of the 99, but the benefit for the 99 here is these cars
gets
all
to use her
behind
draft.
her are all still battling each other. The 1993 and 34 are all still fighting with one another.
good corner by Harina. That'll clear her for second, and maybe she can get that toe down the backstretch to catch up to the 99.
Oh, the
But now the 46 is gonna
just
block
cut
her.
off. And
Alicia Byrne is up here too.
Toyota came down and said, "Don't let the Honda win," and she almost turned herself off the 34.
Goodness gracious. Well, that's going to help Bevelst, for sure.
Yeah, because now both lanes are blocked. The 91's blocking the top now.
Looks like they should be able to get past the 46 and 91 here.
I think this one's
46
going to
might
come
continue.
down to, yeah, right now as it's looking, doing the math here, but we're going to have probably the last pit stop somewhere around 25 to 20 to go. So
That's going to be a short run to end the race. You better make sure that you get that pit stop right, because if you don't, then that could cost you a good finish.
yeah, it's going to come down to the pit stop, I think. I think it's going to come down to who pits the earliest.
And you know who pitted the earliest the first time we had green flag pit stops? It was this 99 car.
Yeah, it was the 99. It was Sky and Jetta who got waved on that last yellow, and they're closing in on her once again. Again, she kept up in the top. She kept up with these leaders pretty well, but she's still trying to
Anstrom.
kind of recover herself.
Anstrom looking for a move on Mika Harina here, but Harina will hold on to it. I think these guys... Oh, well, I was going to say I think these guys going single file is going to help them catch up to Vebels, but they're going side by side again. But the 34 is getting a good run out of the corner. They're still closing in on the 99. There are these points where these cars do close in quite a bit on the 99, and then the 99 is able to find some speed and pull away, so... It's interesting to see that kind of like back and forth effect there. But that 34 is charging, and Vebels is going to have to defend here soon.
You know what else I want
Here
to point
comes-
out now is it's now a 6-car fight here, because the 64 and the 8 have also kind of pushed themselves into this.
Yeah, and those are two cars that have been up at the front basically all race long. All of these guys really have.
Yeah.
Nihil and Schleisenbach. The 34 is to the back bumper of Vebels now, so it's only a matter of time before she tries to make a move.
Rebels has done a good job in this run. She got out front and she's just held the position so far. But the 34 and the 19 are the two cars behind her, and those were the two cars that pulled away from the field on the last run. We're catching the 16 now of Angetta.
Yeah,
Again, this
she's
was where
probably...
this was where Harina made the pass for the
Ooh,
lead last
hold
time, was when the 16 block got in front of the leader. And here comes
might be
Harina
happening
trying it again.
I was going to say, those two used the draft of the 16 to get pulled away from the rest of the pack.
Vebels gave the 34 no room down the back straightaway, did not let her have anything. And the 99, I think maybe just intimidated the 34 a little bit out of challenging her and kept the lead.
Aggression's finally starting to work in her favor, at least for now.
Yeah, that was a bit of a strange move down the...
Oh, Harina's going to cross her under here. They're going to be side
That
by
was how-
side.
This was how Harina made the pass stick last time.
Vebels with a good run on the outside, though.
Yeah.
And she's going to cut her off.
Bevels is driving for all it's worth right now.
But again, down on the inside, that 16 is causing problems for the 99, preventing her from running away and just bringing her right back to Mika Harina. Meanwhile, they're battling for third behind them. The 99's getting very close to the back bumper of the 16 now. I think she's starting to get fed up with her.
Yeah. At this point, they're just like, get out of the way.
There's not even any...
You don't want Marisha
Vebels
Vebels to want you out of the way. Because,
oh, yeah.
that's not a fight you're going to win. With a clean car, at least.
Yeah.
They're both going to get by the 16 here. Tosuma's going to take third from Handstrom. Nihale and Schliesenbach still here, but... Hey, also, I'd like to point out that 2 of Izjavid has gotten back into the top 10. She had that issue under the pit cycle that dropped her way back, but she's managed to climb her way back up.
Yeah, she almost got lapped because of that.
Yeah.
And she's up here in 8th. Been a good rebound for that 2 car.
I know it's Marisha Vebels, though, out front still. I mean, it's not been a particularly favorable season for her so far. Her best finish came last week, 16th place at Bathurst. And for Arinia Tosuma, I mean, she's one of the 2 Evans Ross Racing cars in the top 20 in points, which is that playoff cutoff spot. But hasn't been all smooth sailing for her either. So I think this would be a much needed win for this team after what's been kind of a struggling start to the season for them.
She's starting to gap the 34 of Harina now, so I think Harina might have used up some of her tires trying to get past the 99, and she didn't get past her, and now she's feeling the effects of it.
You know what else? We might have seen the 93 kind of get her stuff under control here, because Tosuma is really starting to reel in Harina.
Not a good corner there by the 99. They're both going to close in on her.
Here comes the 93.
Here comes Tosuma for second. See, it looked like for a moment there that Vebels was going to start pulling away there, but just one lackluster corner, and all of a sudden they're right back to her. Harina's going to try a move, but she's not close enough.
She's not even.
And she's going to lose some time.
Close enough.
That's going to bring Tosuma right back to her. More lap cars ahead of the leaders. The 92 and the 32.
Right now, the 46 is the last car in the lead lap. I think the 32 here is going to try... I think what the 32 is going to do, because if they just came down... if she just stop and go in her box, she should be pitting within about 10 laps. So I wonder if the plan there is to get fresh tires before everyone else and try and kind of use that to her advantage and just hang on for that last run.
It's not a particularly... Oh, boy. The 34 was right on the bumper of the 99. I was going to say, it's not a particularly smart strategy, I don't think, and she just went a lap down.
Yeah, she just went a lap down, so that might be out of the playbook
Something that I'm noticing about Vebels is that she's getting really good entries into the entrance of turn 3, and it's really shutting down any attempt that anyone behind her is making at trying to pass her, because we've seen 34 get right on her bumper down the backstretch multiple times, but by the time they're in the middle of 3, she's Vebels has gapped her by a car length.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the 34 not getting a good entry or just the 99 getting a very good entry, or possibly both, but it's just been Febbles has just had her number off of that corner into the corner.
Yeah, the 99's. I think Vebels has just kind of slowly been, that car has just slowly been getting better throughout the race. Like, you know, she's been kind of top 10 pretty much this whole time, but you know, as the race has gone on, that 99's pace has looked more and more and more closer to like a car that could win, and now it's up front, and honestly, clean air is kind of helping a little bit. Obviously, the clean air is a big deal here, but the 99's still doing a very good job just kind of maintaining her gap right now at the front. So it is Harina sitting second, and Tosum is sitting third. There's a car down pit road. It is the 32. So
She's going to fall a second lap down.
she's going to go at least 2 down, maybe 3. But she will have the freshest tires. And those tires are going to be worth about 2 seconds compared to what the leaders have.
She's gonna have the freshest tires for about 10 laps.
15 laps.
10 to 15. That's probably when the rest of these cars are going to start coming in.
Yeah.
I think this race is going to be, as much as Vebels has been impressive in terms of defensive driving here in this last stage of the race, this race is going to probably be won or lost on pit road. Because if this 99 car has a bad stop, or if she doesn't have the right strategy, then that's going to hurt her. But she had the right strategy last time in terms of when she pitted, in terms of pitting late. The 32 is back down pit road a second time, so there's some other issues going on for the 32 car.
Broken? It's weird because she was pitting just fine earlier.
Oh, be careful.
No, she's
Coming back in again. She's pit looping.
The pit box, I think, just broke. I don't know how. Oh, the 34 is going for the race lead.
I think Vebels got held up by Abby Little in the 71 car.
Yeah, but she's gonna get a big exit. And that 32 might have to be parked, unfortunately. I don't know why, but that pit box appears to have just...
I wonder if our pit lane reporter has something to say about that.
Yeah, we'll have to follow up on that.
Well, at the very least, the 34 and 93 have closed back in on the 99 again. These three still within less than half a second of each other. It's just going to come down to the execution on pit road here, because it's not that easy to pass at this point in the track because the tires are so chewed up. But
yeah,
I think that 99 though right now she's saved her stuff up the best, which it's good for her now. And we remember during that other green flag pit stop, it was the 99 that pitted first. I think if that crew chief does the same strategy, it's going to be an easy win for Vebels. Because it is a short run to end the race.
it's going to be about 20 laps, probably. 20, 25 laps, that final run. '34 is coming in
Oh, the 34. Okay. They're mixing it up.
very early.
The 34 and the 8
in.
coming in. I like that move. I really like that move from Harina.
What's going on, Rasha?
Yep, 30. As Brendan mentioned, 34 is just gonna come in early here and try to get the mega undercut. I think. They're gonna make a couple of adjustments to the car, mostly to air pressure. I think. But yeah, the main course of the game here is going to just be trying to get the undercut on the 99 because that seems to have worked. There's a couple more cars
Enstrom
coming
is
in. I'll
in.
come back to you real quick on those.
19, 2, 18, 52, 13 are all in. I think this is where we're gonna see everyone go for it.
The ERR cars are staying out, trying an overcut here. I would expect to see them start pitting here,
99's in.
and it looks like they will. At
99's
least the
coming in.
99 will.
93's in as well.
And yeah, she'll bring her teammate with her.
64 is gonna follow. Looks like the 27's gonna follow.
Looks like everyone else.
What's up on the 99, Rasha?
Changes on that? No changes on that 99 car except for... Actually, no, they're gonna make some changes here. They're gonna anticipate that they're gonna change this. They're gonna change things up here on the setup just to anticipate that shorter run, but this is a little bit earlier than they expected. This is mostly just as a response to Harina's team bringing that car in, so this is definitely a little earlier than these guys wanted to come in, but so is the strategy sometimes. Back to you.
That looked like a pretty fast stop for the 99. We'll see where she comes out
16.3.
relative to Harina. There's
There's the
Harina right there in the
34.
trioval.
34 is definitely gonna jump her.
Oh yeah,
34 is gonna jump easily, but here
she's gonna have a big.
What's gonna be curious here? Can the 99 get up to speed ahead of those two behind her, and can she reel in the 34 and get back by? Because the 99 is gonna have a little bit fresher tires, and she might honestly have the help of these cars, the 8 and the 19. Might have
Yeah,
the help
she's
of
gonna be
that-
in the
their
draft.
She's gonna have the help,
Harina's gonna be
probably.
all alone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who gained a lot of spots out of that was Schleisenbach, who's actually going to try and pass the 99. I don't think she's quite got those tires warmed up yet, so she's still getting up to speed here. That could be an opportunity for the 8 and the 19 to get by her, forcing Vebels to have to pass them back.
Eight car gonna take second.
Enstrom and Vebels still side by side.
There's Harina, 2 seconds out in front. 99's gonna maintain third at the very least. She's
She might be
gotta
making a
make
move
this
for second here.
stick.
She's got to get past. Well,
She's gotta
they
get past
cut
the
in
eight
two
here.
tenths. They cut in 2/10 that last time by. So I think if they don't battle each other that much, they might have a shot. Vebels probably wants to lead this line though, because she's, well, one, because she's Marisha Vebels, but two, because she's got the freshest tires of these
Yeah,
guys.
she's got the freshest tires, and she'll probably have the fastest car. Toastman's
still
dropped
think-
back here to 6th.
I still think Hanstrom's car is at least as fast as the 99, but the 99 has the tire advantage over Hanstrom, so I think we'll see how that turns out for them.
They're still closing,
They are closing in on Harina.
yeah, and they're gonna have quite a bit of time to do it because that 34 just pitted a little bit earlier. But that 34 literally gained 2 seconds on the 99. Actually swapped out about 3 seconds on the 99 just from pitting earlier.
She's dealing with a lap car right now.
Yeah, trying to get
The
by
10
the
car.
10. I think the 99, if she can get by this 8, she's going to catch the 34 much faster.
She's
And
going to try to do
get
that
down.
heat.
Eight car maintained pretty well on the top side, but
See, now they're going side by side and they're losing time to Harina.
8 car really dropped that time though. And now the 99 is going to probably just going to try and hold on to this one now. Try and keep the 19 behind.
I don't think Hanstrom is going to be all that enthused with staying behind the 99, so
Probably not, but the
Almost
99 is
might
very
have to.
fast.
I think if I'm Hanstrom, I'd probably just draft with the 99 to catch Harina, but we've seen how this race has gone and how drivers have just not really gotten that memo, so It's going to be interesting to see what they do here. They're going to get some draft off of the 10 car, which should help them reel in the 34, despite the 10 being slower than the 34. But it's still going to help them out. As you can see, they're catching by quite a bit.
They gained 2/10
this last
before,
lap.
and now they gained 4/10 this lap.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be it's gonna be pretty soon.
It's not a matter
when
of
they catch
if, but when.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I think Harina thought, maybe she could get out front and just kind of defend her way through the 99, but...
That 99 is blazing fast. I don't think that Harina is going to have enough to defend her. Look at it's already 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, but
So
she
the
got
10
held
is
up by the
not
10.
being... Yeah, the 10 is not being too nice to Vevelst right now. But she has time to deal with this 10 car. There's 20 laps to go. That's plenty of time for her to both catch and pass Harina. And the 19 and the 8 are just following her right now, trying to stay in it.
Yeah, I think it helps that the 99 has the fresh tires and probably has the faster car between her and the 34. But, I mean, they've got that air moving very well with this group here, so that's helping the 99 as well.
Handstrom with a runoff of 4. Just going to push the 99 down the front, and the gap is
2/10
at
again.
1 second now.
This might actually be a really close finish. After almost 400 miles, you think, in an NR race, it's not gonna be that close for that long. No, we've got it very close. I mean, we saw at Bathurst, we had 500. That was a 500-kilometer race, 81 laps. We still had it under a second at a road course.
This 19, I think this 19 is going to try something here. The 8's going to try and take him 3 wide. Vevelst is actually going to get stuck up on the top side. This is not good for these 3. They should not be doing this right now. Oh, the 19 and the 8 almost made contact off the corner.
Came super close to making contact, and they still didn't really lose that much time.
Handstrom's trying to dispatch a Vevelst now because she knows that Vevelst has the tire advantage, and she knows that as it's possible that it could get harder to pass her as this goes on, but the 99 just gets such a good drive off the corner. And there's nothing that Handstrom can do to deal with that. But as this run goes on, the tires are going to even out a little bit more, so Vevelst's tire advantage is really helpful for her now, but it might not be as helpful as we get to like 10 to go. So
Yeah, but you know what
Vevelst
she's got
is gonna
now?
have to.
She's got the draft of the 34 here.
She does. Vevelst is going to have to take advantage of these tires now before that advantage goes away. But she's doing a good job of that so far. It's just a matter of passing the 34 at this point.
Yep. And the 93 appears to have fallen out of the top 10.
She's in the pits.
She's in the pits. That's tough for Tosima, who was up at the front.
Unscheduled stop.
Russia, do you have anything on the 93?
Yeah, grim faces here in the 93 garage. That's not exactly what anyone at ERR wants to see right now as Vevelst battles for the lead. But that's a fuel system issue on the 93 car. So definitely going to be a little bit of reliability concerns perhaps for that 99 car, potentially. But yeah, that's a fuel system problem for the 93, and that's going to take a while for them to fix if they can so at all. So a very, very tough break this late on in the race for the Pennzoil team there. Back to you in the booth, Echo.
Looks like she's going to rejoin the track.
She's just coming out now, but she's going to be at least 2 laps down.
So now, Vevelst has caught the 34. She's going to try and get underneath right here. The 16 of Sky and Jetta is actually inserting herself into this battle despite not being on the lead lap. And that is going to hurt Handstrom and Schleisenbach.
She's actually
They're
scored
side by side.
They're side by side at the line. Wow, that was close.
The one thing Harina does have to her advantage is that run off the outside. She's been able to get that pretty good. That's been able to hold her off. Not as effective that lap, but it looks like it's still enough to clear. That's the thing that she has to her advantage. She can opt to take that outside lane, and there's not a ton that Vebels can do to defend that. At that stage of the race, we're approaching 10 laps to go, and this thing's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, we've just reached our Windows 11 to go here from Las Vegas, and I mean this is a 3. It looks like Vebels has the faster car, but Mika Harina's doing her absolute damnedest to hold her back, and the 34. I mean, you got to give it to her. Even if she doesn't hang on to this one, it's worth the effort of trying to hold Vebels back like this for this long.
The 8's getting into this battle as well. Look at this. She's going to go to the outside here off of turn 2. That's going to give Vebels some problems, as they're going to be side by side now coming out of turn 2. Schleisenbach sees her opportunity. She's definitely not out of this yet. She could have a shot to win the race. Vebels is going to hold on to second. The 16 car of Sky and Jetta, who's a couple laps down, is also going to get to the inside of the 8, and that's definitely going to hurt her. What a great job that Harina's done so far to hold on to that lead from the 99 of Vebels. But can she do it for 9 more laps?
She's got to push it real hard here. And honestly, if I'm one of these cars up front, I'm worried about that 16. Because the 16's on much fresher tires than everyone else.
Yeah, it's possible that the 16 could get under the 34, and then the 99 just follows her and just goes by her that way. So it's possible that Vebels doesn't even have to force the move to happen, although she's up on the top right now, and Harina's on the bottom. Harina's going to have to block it. I don't think Mauricia has anywhere to take the run, though, because the 16 is down there. So that's still going to hurt Vebels,
That might help her, though, because she's going to still have the top, and we've seen that 99 be able to hold the top pretty well. There she goes once again, dives down.
She's going to get under.
7 to go.
She got the nose in turn 1. She's got all the help down on the inside. Harina's got the advantage on the outside, though, in terms of the grip. The 8's going to try and cross under the 16, but there's no room there, but she's going to make room. Exciting stuff here at the front as we get down to the final laps of this race.
Here comes the 99 again. 16 kind
up the
of
track.
Forced her wide. But that's not the worst thing to have happen here. Catching the 91. Negotiating these lap cars is gonna determine a good chunk of this one.
I think Harina, it's a double-edged sword for Harina. She can get draft off these lap cars to keep the 99 at bay, but she has to make sure that she gets by the lap cars when she gets there. She can't get held up even by a little bit.
What a
Look
run.
at the run the 99 got in the middle of the corner. On the inside, she's going to get to the bottom.
And she might try and use
as
the 91.
they're approaching the 91.
Woo!
Oh, Harina absolutely needed to do that. She did not want to get stuck on the outside as they caught the 91. Harina's going to have to get by the 91 right now, and it looks like she's going to get under her. That's going to give her a good opportunity here. 4 laps to go.
It's between Harina and Vebels. And the
64.
99.
The 64 is within a second of these cars now, but here comes
reeled
Vebels
in. Here comes the
with
99.
the push from Injetta.
Oh, she's going to get the pole here. Can she stay ahead of the 34? The 34 is going to try and keep the top. 3 to go. Vebels out front. But here comes the 16 of Injetta. And here comes the 34 trying to use the top to get back to the 99.
The 34 is still side by side with the 16. That's not going to help in turns 3 and 4. I think that might be it. That might have been the race-winning move. I don't think, unless the 16 decides, the 16 and the 46 decide to interfere with this, I don't think that there is another opportunity for these cars to pass Vebelst.
2 laps to go. And I mean, the 99 has a lap car now in between her and the 34. So unless Angetta really tries to mess things up here.
Oh, she's trying to mess things up. She
tried to
go
mess
to the
things up.
inside. Yeah.
But it didn't happen. White flag, 1 lap to go. We got a battle back here. That's third at stake between Schliesenbach and Hanstrom. And Nihil's back behind all of this. But Mauricia Vebelst absolutely bullied her way through the field in this one. And
Watch out for the 16 here.
16 goes to the inside, but I don't think that's
There's
going to
too
be
many
enough.
lap cars in the way.
That's not going to be enough for the 34. Mauricia Vebelst will win in Las Vegas. What a race. That was great.
Very well done by the 99 crew. The driver and the team executed perfectly here today. And she just got it done there at the end. Props to Harina. They did absolutely everything they possibly could to win that race. I commend the crew chief for trying that undercut. It just did not work out for her in the end. The 99 was just too fast.
Yeah, Mauricia Vebelst just with a great drive in this one. And, I mean, you just got to commend everyone, especially at the front, for racing clean like that. Like, that could have gone wrong in so many different ways, but they all drove each other clean and raced each other well. And just a great race. Just a great race all around in this one. So, Carly Byrne is going to be the one who takes the NordVPN fastest lap in this one, so that extra point going to her. We'll see who... I'll open up the export real quick to see who led the most laps, but... yeah, just a general fun race. I really enjoyed that. So, I mean, 400 miles, and it still came right down to the wire in this one. So I'm going to leave you with Rasha. Brennan, if you want to chime in during the post-race show, you can. I'm going to leave everyone with Rasha and Brennan here for the post-race show. What do you got? What do you got here?
And what a finish that was. An outstanding run to the flag. Quick 20-25 lap sprint. And it came down to a duel between Mauricia Vebelst, your winner, and Mika Haurina in second. And yeah, I mean, the 99 had a lot of pace coming into that those final laps. She was taking in chunks out of Haurina's gap there, and it looked like she was gonna. It looked like that she might not have had the pace to get it done, especially with the 16 kind of standing in the way of everyone at the end there. But yeah, just one really well-timed move using that 16 as a push kind of sealed the win there. And yeah, an outstanding final run for that entire team. Great driving from Mauricia. Great work by the team making those adjustments. I mean, I mentioned in pit lane that they were struggling in that run before the caution. And yeah, they made the right adjustments to kind of make that car a real demon at the end, I think. Brennan,
Yeah, absolutely.
Brennan, what did you think?
Yeah, that was a fun race throughout. We had a lot of comers and goers. We had a lot of drivers that were good at the start of the race. We had some drivers that were better at the end. And Mauricia Vebelst just ended up having the best drive at the right time. And I said that the race was going to be won on pit road, and it ended up actually not being won on pit road because I think Harina's crew definitely had the best idea here, and they still ended up losing the race despite Mika Harina's best efforts. And that just goes to show just how fast that that 99 was and Mauricia Webelst was. And Mauricia Webelst, one of the more controversial drivers in the garage. She's got a very fiery personality. Hasn't really had the success to back it up, but now she's got a win under her belt, and I'm sure that isn't going to go to her head at all. And she's going to be very level-headed about it in her winning interview. You can definitely bet on that. I'm not being sarcastic at all.
Do I hear a hint of snark in those comments, Mr. Wilmington?
Maybe a little bit. Look, you know what? In LSCI, we've seen this from a certain particular other driver.
Oh yeah.
Whenever she wins races too. So that's gonna be fun to see after the race. But looking at your top 10, I mean, like the top 5 were all running in the top 10 most of the race.
Yeah, I mean,
Schleichenbach.
Yeah, I mentioned. I was gonna mention Schleichenbach because you mentioned that final, that kind of importance of pit stops throughout the race, and yeah, Schleichenbach managed to jump quite a lot of time in with that final pit cycle, and yeah, she came out third. Well, yeah, she came out fourth, finished third. So yeah, overall a great run at the end for her as well. Great for a team that's running up high in the points. Speaking of which, the 19, another brilliant performance by Handstrom, and that's surely going to extend. That's going to vault her up, I think, to the points lead. I should say.
I think Handstrom. I think if you took the average of like running positions of each driver throughout the entire race, Handstrom would probably have the best average. She was the most consistently good throughout the race. I was pretty convinced that she was going to win, but she just didn't have. Other cars just got the jump on her in terms of the setup, but still, you cannot be mad at a top 5. Absolutely, especially if you're up there competing for the championship. Every point counts. It's definitely a good run for Arlen Handstrom here. And rounding out the top 5, Jocelina Nihale kind of just showed up in the top 10 at some point and didn't leave. So just a good run for her. It was a good run for Atlantic Racing as a whole. That's 2 cars in the top 5. And I know Rariston and Jukovic had issues in this race, but Rariston was really fast when she was up there too. Rariston was the pole sitter, so just great day for that Honda squad for sure. And then you see those other. It's interesting because those drivers up in the top 5, they were up near the front most of the race, but a lot of the drivers in the back half of the top 10, like the 18 of Alicantes and the 2 of Izavita, really just kind of appeared at one point, and it helps. I think it helps that a lot of some of the faster cars early in the race, like the 39 and the 55 and the 17 and the 96, ended up having issues later in the race or getting caught up in early wrecks. I really think seeing the speed from like Tosima and Webelst, I'm really curious to know what would have happened if Talberson was not taken out in that crash, because she was flying through the field. I would not be surprised if she'd be right up there with her teammates at that point. And then the 17 as well was making a lot of crazy moves. A lot of, I think, fast cars that got taken out early, and it was just it was a shame for them. That. They never got to showcase it.
Yeah, I agree with that. There was plenty of cars I think that could have been in that final mix as well. There were a lot of cars that were, I think, really good and probably I think had the pace. But yeah, sometimes it just works that way at these speedway tracks. And yeah, you mentioned the 96, another top 10 at least for that Dark Horse Racing team. Another team that showed a lot of good pace, I think. Great start to the season overall, despite the penalty.
Yeah, Rugatino has been very fast to start the year, and it seemed like for a moment, it seemed like for a bit there, every time I was checking in on the race, the 96 was clearing away in front, but the 96 had another fast car today, had some issues in the pit lane, rebounded for a top 10, so that's a good recovery for that team. Also want to shout out North Star Motorsports, both cars in the top 10, 7th and 8th, right next to each other, so good run for another Honda team. A lot of Hondas got really good finishes here today, and this was a big race for them to show the speed they got. Yania Waterton really just kind of survived to get a good finish.
So, sometimes that's all you need, and yeah, that 13 car, all she has needed is to survive a race, I think. She has not had that for a while, so I think that's a very good result for them.
I also want to just quickly mention Abby Little and Alicia Byrne, 7 laps down, running modifieds, but it doesn't matter. They're going to get top 20s out of it. So it
Abby
didn't
Little,
end
yeah.
up.
Abby Little's becoming a little bit of an expert at this now. I think she's been dragging damaged cars through most of the races she's run so far. We saw this at Calder Park. We're seeing this now at Las Vegas. So a lot of determination at that team, a lot of persistence, despite definitely less than ideal circumstances for them.
Yeah, it's just getting the most out of what they could, despite having issues earlier in the race, and that's definitely commendable for those two drivers. Even though they were out of race winning pace for most of the race, they didn't give up, and they still got rewarded with a decent points day in terms of salvaging what they could from the day. And when only 20 cars finish the race, like, if you finish, that's a solid day. So that's and that's been something that we've seen in quite a few of these races, just because of the length of them. It becomes a race of attrition at a point, and it's important for these guys to make sure that they stay in the race, even no matter what gets thrown at them.
Yeah, I think that's been a common theme in a lot of these races, for sure. So yeah, I'll take you back to Echo now. We'll wrap up the broadcast for everyone, and well, see you guys. We'll see you guys in the next race as Echo now.
Yeah, was a fun race. Was an enjoyable one. I really enjoyed this one. We had there was a lot of it was very strategy dependent at the end, but also there was strategy at the end, but also it did still come down to racing it out, and I think that's what everyone loves to see, is a little mix of both. And genuinely, just a very fun race, and a big congratulations go to Marisha Vebelst on being able to take this one, and I'm sure everyone in that team is going to be happy about that one. So on behalf of Brennan, Rasha, and Madison, who all showed up to the broadcast tonight, I'm Echo. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.